morning, everyone. I'd like to call this Tampa City Council meeting to order. At this time, I yield to Council Member Miranda for the invocation.
Thank you, Chairman. I am honored this morning to introduce the gentleman who's going to do the invocation. I really need to introduce. He's been a deacon. He's been a preacher at 34th Church of God on 34th Street. And best of all, and most likely what everybody knows him for, he's just a plain good old friend of the people. He's done so many things in public service, not only in the county commission, but here at Tampa City Council. He's also a chairman for many years. Our friend, my friend, Tom Scott. Please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to the City Council. It's always my joy and privilege to be able to come and ask God's blessings upon you. And every time I come through these halls, to bring back a lot of fond remembrance of being here. And so I thank God for all of you and for what you do. One of the things I find, I've gotten older, and every day you want to make it the best day. You want to be a blessing. You want to touch somebody's life and make a difference. Father, we thank you that your word instructs us to acknowledge you in all of our ways, and you will give direction to our path. And we thank you today as we come. We do as your word instructs us. We pray today, God, for our country, for our nation. We thank you for her, for what she stands, for justice and equality and liberty for all. Today, as we find ourselves in your presence, we recognize that there are challenges that are ahead of us. But yet we're also grateful and thankful for the many opportunities that we have to make a difference in our community, in our neighborhood, in our city. Thank you today for the men and women that will make decisions for the city of Tampa. I pray for each one today that you give them wisdom, you give them knowledge, you give them purpose. And I pray, God, the decision that they make will be for the safety, the good, the relaxation, and the fun for our community, for our neighborhoods, and for our families. Bless our men and women in uniform. Bless our first responders. Thank you for them who go out every day to put their life on the line to protect us and to protect this community, this city. And we pray for them today that you'll guard them, you'll protect them, you'll guide them, you'll watch over them. Thank you for our mayor. We pray that you'll bless her and her staff and her administration. Bless these United States of America. May she stand tall. May she stand firm. May her light shine brighter than never before. That there's a future that is ahead of us. Great days that are ahead of us. And we thank you for what you're going to do. We acknowledge you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, can I have roll call, please?
Carlson.
Here.
Pertat. Here. Clendenin.
Here.
Henderson.
Present.
Vieira. Here. Miranda.
Here.
And Maniscalco.
Here.
We have a physical quorum.
All right, Mr. Shelby, would you like to review the rules and procedures today?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, members of council, members of the public. Martin Shelby, the city council attorney. I'm here this morning to remind you of the rules of decorum in the council's rules of procedure. And we'll begin with public comment. As you may be aware, there is a box outside with comment cards where you just fill out your name and a few other pieces of information, and you place that card in that box if you want to speak at public comment. Now, public comment, if you look at the agenda, will take place this morning after the ceremonial items and the approval of the agenda. And then you will have the opportunity to share your opinions, your facts, why you're here with the City Council. You will be given 3 minutes to speak for public comment. Now, if you notice when you approach the lectern, there's a little box with 3 colored lights up there, red, yellow, and green. When you begin at 3 minutes, you have the green light. When the light turns yellow and you hear 1 beep, it means you have 30 seconds left to please wrap up. When the light turns red, then the tone will go off, and the tone will continue till you stop speaking. Please do not continue speaking after your time has expired. Just like any other rule, If the rules are violated, the chair may rule you out of order, and as a consequence, then the chair may ask that you be removed from the chambers for the remainder of the day's meeting. So please be mindful of that. Also be mindful, council, regarding addressing your comments to the council as a whole and not to individual council members. Please refrain from personal attacks on any individual council member. They are advised by me, and it is in their rules, that they cannot engage in dialogue with you and they cannot answer your questions. So when you come up here, it's to express your opinion and your thoughts and your facts to the council members, but please do not expect them to be able to respond to you. I will say that your public comments are observed by both the city council staff and by the administration. The chief of staff is here to hear the chief of staff to the mayor is here to hear your comments personally. So that being said, just be mindful of the rules of decorum, and I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the October 17th meeting, 2024? We have a motion from Councilmember Henderson, second Councilmember Clendenin. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Oh, and if I could just add one more thing that
Sure.
I think I left out, Mr. Chairman. With regard to the box that you have outside, you must fill out a card in order to be able to get the floor, because the chair will then call your name and then also tell the next person who's up next in line, so you'll be able to be prepared to get up to vote. Please print legibly, and if your name cannot be read, your name cannot be called. The other issue is, you can see it's a full house today. There are people who are going to be coming down to the second floor. When this room is filled, that box will be moved to the second floor, and then people will have the opportunity. The cards are collected up until the time of the start of public comment. Those people coming in late after the start of public comment do not have the opportunity to fill out the card, do not have the opportunity, unfortunately, to speak that day. They could always come back the next time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go over the agenda for some housekeeping. We received a memo from Councilmember Hurtak for item number 8 to be taken as a separate vote. So once we get to that, we will take a separate vote. Item number 31, there's a request from Mr. Mutterback requesting that item 31 be continued to November 1st. We have a motion from Councilmember Clendenin.
November 21st.
That's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Motion from Councilmember Clendenin, second from Councilmember Miranda. All in favor? Aye. All right. Items 63 and 64 will be heard together. Item number 65, there's a request to withdraw in 66, but these were 1:30 public hearings. So at that time, I will ask for that motion. We'll open it up when the time comes. Right. In regards to the administration update, Chief Bennett will be here. You'll be addressing at that time?
Good morning, Council. John Bennett, Chief of Staff. Good morning to the public, and thoughts to our veterans for this coming Monday. I didn't know if Council's privilege, if Councilwoman Hurtak wanted me to address what I'm calling the non-agenda motion for 11-8, just to explain to the public your request for the what we call the hot wash on our call. Would you like me to explain that now, or?
Sure, because we are moving it, so yes.
So Councilwoman Hurtak, of course, supported by council, requested an email version of a SWOT analysis due tomorrow, 11/8. We talked offline. The disaster management cycle is such that it starts with mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. We're still in a margin of our response phase and ultimately heavy in our recovery phase. The city has not been able to do a hot wash led by Chief Tripp and the emergency management group. So we requested to push that date out before the end of the year, and our officers have been working offline, but we can assure council and the public that prior to the after-action report, this hot wash can come out and be done in the SWOT analysis that was requested by department. Is that acceptable to council and the public?
I'm going to move that it move forward to either, and we're still working on the date between the 5th and the 19th.
All right, we'll bring it up at new business. All right,
Okay.
so that handles that. Item 72 and 73 will be heard together. Item 74, there's a request from Councilman Carlson to continue 74 to January 23rd, 2025. Is there a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. And then we have a memo requesting that item number 78 be continued to January 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Motion from Councilmember Clendenin, second from Councilmember Miranda. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, 79 and 80 to be received and filed with no discussion. Can I get a motion? Motion from Councilmember Clendenin. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Miranda. All in favor?
Aye.
And then finally, item number 81 is a request from Mr. Dennis Rogero to continue 81 to December 19, 2024. May I have a motion? Motion from Councilmember Clendenin, second from Councilmember
Second.
Miranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. May I have a motion to approve the agenda and the addendum? Motion from Councilmember Clendenin. Yes, Councilmember?
Yes, sir. Just on 77, I didn't do a memo on this because I'm going to be speaking on it. There's, I'll get into it, but it's going to be much more abbreviated than I anticipated because I'm speaking with the county and they're going to need a couple of weeks on some things they're also looking at. So just FYI that 77, my report to council on the independent review post Milton,
Okay.
just FYI as a preface.
We have a motion to approve the agenda and the addendum. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Henderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, that takes care of that. We're going to begin with the Police Officer of the Month. We have two. We're going to begin with the October Police Officer of the Month. Who would like to kick it off? Councilmember Vieira.
Council, how are you? It's a real pleasure to be here today. We're here with our Chief Burkaw, who's here from Tampa Police Department with Officer Ramos. How are you, sir? You doing all right? Yeah. How are you? And we'll let Chief Burkaw kick this off. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Council. The Tampa Police Department is proud to announce that Officer Joseph Ramos has been named our Officer of the Month for October 2024. And I'm sure, as you all aware, we are behind a month, and we're doing two because of what happened in the end of September and October. On September 19th, the Tampa Police Department responded to an armed robbery at the 29th Street store. The suspect fled the scene after demanding and receiving cash from the store clerk. Officers were able to quickly determine that the suspect was the same individual responsible for a previous armed robbery at the exact same location just about a month prior. While the investigation was ongoing, Officer Ramos was working extra duty on his day off at the C. Blythe Andrews Library. He observed a male subject walking through the parking lot of the library and immediately recognized him as the robbery suspect. He quickly broadcasted this information to all on-duty officers, leading to a coordinated effort to apprehend the suspect. With the assistance of our Air Service, our Canine, Patrol, and our Fugitive Apprehension Task Force, officers surrounded a residence where the subject was located. And after a brief standoff, the suspect surrendered and was taken into custody without incident. During subsequent interviews, the suspect was linked to 4 additional armed robberies. He also provided information leading to the recovery of stolen cash, a firearm, and other evidence. Officer Ramos's quick thinking, keen observation, and decisive actions were instrumental in the swift arrest of a dangerous criminal. His dedication to duty, his commitment to public safety, and helping keep our community safe are the reasons that he's being named and recognized as our October Officer of the Month. Congratulations.
So, Officer, before we formally honor you, we have people here from the community who'd like to just give you their personal thanks. Oh, and Officer, if you don't.
Hey, great job, officer.
Thank you.
Council, good morning. Brandon Barclay, Tampa PBA. We'd just like to present this plaque to you for a job well done. Good job.
Good morning, Officer Ramos. I'm Grace Gonzalez. I'm here on behalf of the Gonsmart family and the 1905 family of restaurants. We just want to thank you so much for your dedication to the city of Tampa and your sacrifices that you make. Please enjoy yourselves at the Columbia Restaurant, at Ulalele, at Casa Santo Stefano. Just have a night off and relax. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Congratulations on your award, and thank you so much for your service. I'm Lori Osborne, and I'm from the Florida Orchestra, and on behalf of the Florida Orchestra, we welcome you and your family to a performance this season. So again, thank you so much. We are so proud of you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Council. Good morning, Officer Rennie. Good morning. I'm with Jill Witecki with Tampa Theater, and we want to invite both of you after that dinner to Columbia, come see a movie with an annual membership.
Thank you.
I'm Leo Gary from Bill Curry Ford. I want to say congratulations. On behalf of Bill Curry Ford, we appreciate everything that you do in the city to keep us safe. And like I say all the time, I respect each and every one of you guys that puts on that uniform. Congratulations.
Good morning, Council. Miranda Hilton with Steps Towing on behalf of Todd Stepp and the entire Steps team. We thank you for all you do. Thank you for protecting us, keeping us safe, and please enjoy dinner on us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Go on for the Strauss Center for the Performing Arts. Thank you so much for all your dedication to our city and keeping us safe. The Strauss Center would like both of you to enjoy an evening at the Strauss, so enjoy. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Mary Lou Bailey, and I'm here on behalf of Zoo Tampa, where I serve on the board. And this is.
I'm Mark Haney with Zoo Tampa.
We wanted to congratulate you and thank you. We're giving you an annual membership to the zoo for you and your family to enjoy. Your quick thinking and judgment is much appreciated. I couldn't do what you did do, but I did go to the police academy, the citizens, and I know you have to make like split-second judgments, and like mine were all wrong. So I really commend your story and being able to make the right choices and keep us safe and solve a whole bunch of crimes. So that's awesome. Congratulations.
And your membership will include admission to Christmas in the Wild, where you will see African black-footed penguins. Interesting fact, they poop every 15 minutes, so they don't make good pets. But enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for keeping us safe and for making Tampa a safer place for all families. On behalf of the Caspers family and Oxford Commons, I want to offer you a certificate for you and your family to enjoy Oxford Exchange, Predolina, Casa Camille, any one of our restaurants, and also the bookstore and the retail shop at Oxford Exchange. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Glaziers, Chief Operating Officer Brian Ford, who couldn't be here today, and the entire Buck organization, privileged to present you with a game ball for your service.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I shared a seat with you back there. Yeah. Steve Michelini, I'm here on behalf of a variety of different folks who'd like to recognize your dedication and honor you. One is the Somi Greek Restaurant on Howard. They're going to provide you with a $100 gift certificate. You can enjoy yourself over there for lunch, brunch, whatever you wish. On behalf of Yummy House China Bistro, we're providing you with a $50 gift certificate. Enjoy yourself over there, lunch or dinner. On behalf of the Chicho Restaurant Group, providing you with a gift certificate for $50. You can enjoy yourself over there. On behalf of Jackson's Bistro on Harbor Island, $100 gift certificate, lunch or dinner. And on behalf of the Meat Market in Old Hyde Park Village, $100 gift certificate. Enjoy yourself. And we certainly thank you for your dedication and keeping your eyes and ears open for issues that come out in the community. And certainly our hats are off to Tampa Police Department for all of their efforts during the hurricanes. I appreciate your help.
Here, officer. So on behalf of a very grateful city of Tampa, Officer Ramos, it is our great pleasure to honor you, sir, with this Tampa City Council commendation. We thank you and your family and all of your loved ones for everything that you do. You're wonderful. God bless you, sir. Thank you, man. And if you want to share some more,
thank you so much for this prestigious award. I appreciate it. I've been in law enforcement for 13 years. And my passion to keep this community safe has always been top tier and will continue that way. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Congratulations, and thank you for the sacrifice that you make every time you put on that uniform, and thank you to your family as well for their sacrifices. Congratulations.
Thank you. You'll take a new one. Thank you.
All right, Councilman, you have another police
Yes,
officer of the
sir,
month,
I
this time
do.
for November. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So now, moving forward to November, we have Sergeant Matthew Zelansky, who's going to be with us. And to introduce this wonderful individual, we also have Chief Burkholm.
So the Tampa Police Department is proud to announce Sergeant Matt Zelansky being named as our Officer of the Month for November 2024. Matt's currently assigned as a supervisor in the District 2 Street Anti-Crime Squad. Sergeant Zelansky oversees a team of 8 officers and a corporal. In addition to being a SAC sergeant, he also serves as an assistant commander to the Tampa Police Department SWAT team. Despite significant administrative burdens and constant scheduling adjustments required to manage a SAC squad, Sergeant Zelansky remains actively involved in the district initiatives and narcotic investigations. Over the last several months, Sergeant Zelansky's squad has achieved remarkable results, executing 4 search warrants that led to the seizure of a substantial amount of narcotics. And there's a plethora list of different types of narcotics, from fentanyl to meth to oxy, you name it. In addition to that, the squad confiscated 15 firearms and nearly $50,000 in cash. Through their diligent efforts, Sergeant Zelansky's squad has made 157 arrests and recovered 35 firearms this year, significantly reducing the violent crime in the entire city, and especially in and around the Sulphur Springs and Nebraska corridor. Thanks to his leadership, dedication, hard work, Sergeant Zelansky has played a key role in ensuring the city of Tampa is a safer place for everyone. And for those reasons, he is being named our Officer of the Month for November. Congratulations.
And like before, sir, before we honor you, we have members of the community who would like to come and share their appreciation.
Congratulations. As somebody that's worked with Sergeant Zelansky on one of these squads, I can tell you it's well deserved.
Thank you.
Good morning, Sergeant Zelansky. I'm Grace Gonzalez. I'm here on behalf of the Don Smart family. But first, I'd like to present this on behalf of the Tampa Theater. Please enjoy an annual membership to explore the Tampa Theater's full offerings with you and your family. And then please enjoy yourself at the Columbia Restaurant and Eulalie, explore Fairyland. I know some of you here might enjoy Fairyland. We've got flamenco shows, we've got fun for everyone. Congratulations, and thank you so much for all that you do. You are so silly.
Good morning, I'm Mary Lou. And this is
I'm Mark Haney.
We're both here on behalf of Zoo Tampa. I can tell he's an animal lover, so he's going to love this. We've purchased you an annual membership to the zoo, and my favorite is the manatees. You have to check out the manatees, but all animals are wonderful. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everybody for your service. You guys are all awesome, but I'm really glad those guns and drugs are off the street, so thank you for your diligence. And anything you want to say?
Yeah, and we actually have a sea turtle here, but we stole it a little bit early to.
So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Hilton with Steps Towing. On behalf of Todd Steps and the entire Steps team, we thank you for all that you do. We appreciate you. Please enjoy dinner on us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm Lori Osborne, and on behalf of the Florida Orchestra, we say congratulations to you and thank you so much for your service, for you and your family. We are safer because of you. Please enjoy a performance for you and your family this season, and again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Not a long time at Bill Curry Ford. He's been bringing in his vehicle there. On behalf of Bill Curry Ford, we appreciate everything that you do in the city of Tampa to keep us safe. And again, I appreciate and respect the gentleman that we on there. All right?
Yeah, thank you.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
There's a little gift card there. And It's a free maintenance on your vehicle.
Perfect. Thank you.
Personal vehicle.
Yeah.
Sergeant Delansky, thank you for keeping Tampa safe and making it safer for families. And on behalf of the Casper family, want to present you with a gift certificate for you and your family to enjoy Oxford Exchange, Fredolina, Casa Camille, any one of our restaurants, and the bookstore at Oxford Exchange and the retail course. So thanks very much. Congratulations.
So, for the Strat Center for the Performing Arts, thank you so much for keeping our streets safe and your leadership to be able to take your team and go out there and get those drugs off the streets. I know it's a big problem out there, and we're really appreciative of your work. Thank you.
Ryan Spradlin, the Chief Security Officer for the Bucks. As a 26-and-a-half-year retiree, I worked primarily narcotics and money laundering my entire career. I truly appreciate and I'm humbled to present you with a game ball from the Tampa Bay Bucks on behalf of the Glaziers and our Chief Operating Officer, Brian Ford. So thank you for what you do.
You got a cheerleader with you.
Yeah, no.
You want to stand up here, guy? You want to stand up here with me?
Go ahead.
Yeah? Yeah? That's the football. There you go.
Hold on to it.
Football.
Don't throw it.
Yeah. Steve McElhaney, I'm here on behalf of a variety of different folks, and we're going to provide you with gift certificates. So the So Me Greek Restaurant, you can enjoy yourself there. On behalf of the Chicho Restaurant Group, enjoy yourself there. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Jackson's Bistro on Harbor Island, enjoy yourself over there for lunch or dinner. The Meat Market in Old High Park Village, enjoy yourself lunch or dinner. And the Yummy House China Bistro. And I know that, I always say this, but the chief wants to go with you when you go to the Yummy House.
Okay. Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate your help.
So sweet. Thank you. So, sir, on behalf of a very grateful city of Tampa, it is our great pleasure and honor to give you, sir, this Tampa City Council commendation. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And if you want to say anything, sir, you may.
I think this award's just a product of my environment and the team that I have around me, whether it's my chain of staff or the officers I have below me. I really feel that it's just a team effort. It's a product of that. I couldn't do them by myself. And my staff, my major, my previous major, Owen, Richardson, they all support me the best they can, give me the freedom to be able to conduct our investigations and the support that we need and the resources that we need. And giving me the resources to be able to pick my officers who are very diverse in their investigative skills, and they all support each other. So all that coming together is why I was able to receive this.
Now I think the chairman's session, and then you're off.
Congratulations, sir. Again, thank you for your sacrifice, your family's sacrifice every time you put on that uniform and the work that you do to keep us safe. We sincerely appreciate you. Councilmember Clendenin?
Yeah, your son did something that nobody's ever able to do, and that's upstage Luis Vieira. So there you go. How adorable. Was he 4, 3?
3. He'll be 3 next month.
Very excellent. Nice. Very cute family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And then for our last commendation today, and Will is, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good. And then for our last commendation, we have Chief Tripp. Do you want to? Can we wait 15 seconds?
Yeah.
Gotta wait for the
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And so next we do our Tampa Firefighter of the Quarter. And here to talk about this wonderful firefighter, Lieutenant Tim Burnham, is Chief Barbara Tripp. Come forward, man.
Good morning, Council. Barbara Tripp, Fire Chief for Tampa Fire Rescue. So this morning, I would like to nominate Rescue Lieutenant Tim Burnham for Firefighter fourth quarter. Just to tell you a little bit about Mr. Burnham, he's a 5-year veteran with the City of Tampa Fire Rescue and has a diversified experience and training as a firefighter paramedic, and has risen through the ranks to lieutenant and currently holds the position of a quality assurance assistant. Lieutenant Burnham is currently holding the following certification: paramedic field training officer, critical care transport paramedic, field training officer, bike medic, professional sports team medic, advanced cardiac life support instructor, basic life support instructor, pediatric advanced life support instructor, and fire instructor 2, fire officer 1, and fire officer 2, and also an acting driver engineer. Despite having an impressive career with Tampa Fire Rescue, his ability to mentor others and make department improvements comes from the formal education and diversified experience in emergency services. He has a master's degree in public administration from Florida State University and a Bachelor of Science in Emergency Management and Fire Administration from the University of Florida. He also has an Associate's of Science degree in Fire Science from St. Pete College. He has a total of 14 years experience in emergency medical services and worked as a paramedic, driver, and an acting captain for Pinellas Suncoast Fire and Rescue. Lieutenant Burnham is respected by all and has a competent and passionate, he is a competent and compassionate officer who leads by example, consistently looking to improve himself and his personnel, and of course, Tampa Fire Rescue. As viewed through his education and work experience, Lieutenant Burnham lives to educate others. He's been assigned as a quality assurance assistant and has been instrumental in assisting with revising and implementation of advanced medical protocols, as well as creating data-driven training through trends of analysis from quality assurance perspective, improving the care of our department that our department provides to the citizens of Tampa. While his achievements on duty are commendable, Lieutenant Burnham voluntarily contribute to members and the community are unmatched. This past year, he took his experience as a field training officer and as far as being part of the medical protocol for Tampa Fire Rescue and assisted with revising the paramedic record development and assessment program. This program has been implemented by Tampa Fire Rescue, and of course he has taken the position as lead instructor, and of course reducing the timeline when we are training our personnel to be able to serve the community. With this, he has assisted with training over almost 100 individuals in the last year. He also volunteers time to organization that benefits our community. For example, he does the Fight for Air stair climb. Of course, he assists during the holidays with feeding Tampa Bay, feeding the individuals in the community. And he's also an elected member of the Civil Service Board for the City of Clearwater. Lieutenant Burnham is a husband as well as a father, and of course we know him to be a man dedicated to improving the facet of Tampa Fire Rescue and our members. A natural leader who influences and encourages others to do the same, and basically we witness him through the level of dedication he has for this profession, as well as our organization. For that reason, we nominate Lieutenant Burnham as the firefighter of the fourth quarter.
And so, before we form or honor you, Lieutenant, we have members of the community here who want to show their appreciation to you.
Good morning, Lieutenant Burnham. I'm Grace Gonzalez. Thank you so much for your dedication to the state of Florida, to our community. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring. On behalf of the Tampa Theater, I'd like to present this annual membership for you and your family to enjoy all that Tampa Theater has to offer. And on behalf of the Gonsmart family and the 1905 family of restaurants, I'd like to present this gift card to you and your family. Please enjoy at any of our restaurants. Enjoy some relaxation and a night off. Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you. Council, Lieutenant, congratulations. Thank you. Recognize and provide you this humble plaque from the Firefighters Union, made for by Wes Stevens, one of our fellow firefighters. So, congratulations, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Mary Lou Bailey. I'm here on behalf of Zoo Tampa.
I'm Mark Haney with Zoo Tampa.
I'm very impressed by your credentials, and you have such a bright future because you're so young. I mean, it's just awesome what you've achieved. So thank you for serving the community. We've purchased an annual membership to the zoo for you and your family. Thank you to your whole family for supporting you. I know what that takes. So congratulations again.
And we've got, along with the membership, we have an okapi, which is, most people think related to a zebra, but they're actually related to giraffes. And they're one of the most endangered and rare animals in the world. So, sort of like you. Rare, not endangered.
I'm Lori Osborne, and I'm with the Florida Orchestra. We wanted to say thank you so much for your service and congratulations on this award. We'd like to present you and your family with a performance this season. So again, thank you, and we appreciate you.
Morning. Thank you for all you do for Tampa, for Clearwater, for the whole Tampa Bay community. Really appreciate it. On behalf of the Caspers family, I want to present you with a gift certificate to enjoy with your family at any of our restaurants, the library in St. Pete, Oxford Exchange, Predolina, and also the bookstore at Oxford Exchange. So please enjoy some time together. Thank you for everything. And thank you, City Council, for doing this all the time.
Go along on the Strauss Center for the Performing Arts. Extremely impressed with that list of all credentials you've done, and it's exhausting just to hear. I don't know how you do it, but congratulations, and thank you for always keeping us safe. I would definitely like to have you around in a crisis. So enjoy a night at the Strauss.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Miranda with Steps Towing, and on behalf of Todd Steps and the entire Steps Towing and Heavy Transport team, we thank you. Please enjoy dinner on us.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Real for it. Good. I want to give you this gift card, and there's a letter in there from Mrs. Curry, and also this certificate for a free oil change.
Thank you.
For maintenance on your personal vehicle.
Thank you.
And then this gives back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for everything.
Yeah.
Ryan Spradlin, Chief Security Officer for the Tampa Bay Bucks. On behalf of the Glaziers and our Chief Operating Officer, Brian Ford, who is also a Florida State alumni, I know he would want me to mention that, and the entire Buccaneer organization. We thank you for your service. We thank you for your partnership and everything you do to keep us safe.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Getting busy up here.
Yeah.
So one of these guys want to come up here with me? No? Steve Michelini, I'm here on behalf of a variety of different folks, and guess what? We're going to let your mom and dad and maybe you go to the Yummy House. You like that? How about Greek food? Do you like Greek food? Don't know? Okay, well, you get to go, maybe. You can try it out, right? How about Meat Market? That's really for mom and dad. That's a special night for them, okay? Jackson's Bistro, that's another special time for mom and dad. Daily Eats, breakfast, lunch, dinner, scrambled eggs, pancakes. Go enjoy yourself over there. You can go with that one. That'll be a good one for you. Yummy House China Bistro, we mentioned that already. We're really happy for you and congratulate you on your achievements, and wanted to thank all of the Tampa Fire Rescue for all of their dedicated service during these recent storms and making our community safe. That was an extraordinary effort on behalf of the police department as well as the Tampa Fire Rescue, and we all appreciate it. We don't see you all the time, but during times of need, you're there, and we really appreciate that 24/7. Thank you so much.
So, Lieutenant, on behalf of a grateful city, and here you go, sir, it is our great pleasure to give you this Tampa City Council commendation. I was telling you, I whispered to you before that you have a good resume to run for office. That's a compliment, so there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
man. God bless you. Thank you. You want to say anything?
I'll keep it very brief. It's a privilege to serve the city of Tampa and an honor to be recognized, but we have a rank and file that should be recognized every single day. Like a few have already spoken on, we have a lot of opportunity out in the community to do good, and I'm happy to be part of that rank and file. So, thank you.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate you, your sacrifice, your team, everybody that's here in this room, the sacrifice you make for us to keep us safe each and every day, and of course your family. Very, very important. The sacrifice that they make every time you put on that uniform and go to work. So congratulations, well deserved, amazing resume. You know, we appreciate the service that you give to this entire community. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we'll just take a few seconds to clear out the room here. All right, next up, we have Chuck Carden to provide a 5-minute presentation to provide a brief overview of Tampa Bay Water and major initiatives. There's also a PowerPoint presentation attached to this. Councilmember Vieira, this was, Miranda, this was your motion. Would you like to kick it off?
I'm sorry, I was having I've had a run-in with Mr. Bennett on a friendly basis for a couple of years now, and he was a great athlete. And Pardo, who just left here, his family was fantastic ball players. But like Garden, by the way, not only is he a great leader at Tampa Bay Water, he was also in a baseball team at University of Tampa, and I think he played second base and caught. And he's a great guy, and he knows what he's doing with water. And that's a committee of 6 governments and all the 6, Pasco, Pinellas, Hillsborough County, City of Tampa, Newport Richey, and St. Petersburg. So he creates about 200 million gallons of water a day under his leadership. And the only one that produces water to any degree other than that is City of Tampa, which produces about 82 million gallons a day on the average. So he knows what he's doing. We have board members that know what they're doing, except one, and I'm not going to mention who that was. And but I appreciate everything he's done to keep the place running as it should be, and he's done a fantastic job. He's been there many years, but I think 3 or 4 years, I believe, is the person in charge, and he's done a fantastic job. Chuck Garden from Tampa Bay Water, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you, and good morning, and thank you for having me. Councilmember Miranda, you pretty much did my whole presentation for me, so I appreciate that. So, I did want to spend a few moments this morning to update you on some of our recent activities, and then at the end, I'll be very happy to answer any questions you may have. Tampa Bay Water's mission is very simple. It is to provide reliably clean, safe drinking water to the Tampa Bay region, not only now, but for future generations. And as a quick overview, we were formed in 1998 to end what you've heard, I'm sure, the decades-old water wars. And we also were mandated to reduce groundwater pumping that affected the environment. We are a nonprofit special district of the state of Florida, and we serve more than 2.5 million people through our 6-member governments. And as far as I know, we are the only water utility in the United States that uses 3 sources of water that blend together, and that is the groundwater, surface water, and desalinated seawater. We have 163 employees, and we charge each of the member governments the same wholesale rate of $2.62 per 1,000 gallons. Tampa, as Councilmember Miranda said, has a self-supply of 82 million gallons a day, but there are times in the past and into the future they buy water from us. And so this coming budget year we just started, We have budgeted City of Tampa to purchase 4.1 million gallons a day. 2 years ago in '23, the city purchased almost 5 million gallons a day, and then last year, the year we just ended, almost 4 million gallons a day. And so, with the creation of Tampa Bay Water, I'm happy to say we ended the water wars. Since my last update, I was here last year, I can't quite remember when, but I gave you an update last year. We are working hard to address new water quality parameters. We are meeting the region's short-term water needs, but not only that, but also the longer-term growth needs. And of course, as you know, the region has had some weather, a few storms recently, and I know that you and all the other member governments continue to recover from the back-to-back hurricanes that hit our region. I'm very happy to say that the regional drinking water system was able to continue providing water to all of the member governments throughout both storms, despite the widespread regional power outages, wind and flood damages. And I also know that the City of Tampa staff worked very hard throughout the storms to ensure the continued delivery of water to your customers. We coordinated with your staff throughout both events very well, and the communication was very done well. This graph represents the total amount of water that we delivered in the water year 2023 versus water year 2024. And as you look at it, you could question that they're almost the same amount of water for both years, and you'd say, how can that be with all the new growth and the drought that we had that started about this time last year? The Southwest Florida Water Management District issued a one-day-a-week water restriction last year, and it was a tremendous help in keeping demands down and allowing us to reduce our use of our 15.5 billion gallon reservoir. And we use that reservoir as our water savings account. So it was getting lower and lower, and so the water restrictions, and with everyone's help, it maintained throughout the drought. And now, speaking of the reservoir, you see a picture of it on the right. It currently is at top full capacity of 15.5 billion gallons. And that's important when I say that to you. We try to get it full by the end of September 30th of every year. And on July 14th, if I remember correctly, it was at 2.28 billion gallons. So 2 to 15 in less than a few months is remarkable. And we're happy about the rain, but I know some of the folks have suffered from the flooding. So we did get our savings account replenished. Our desal plant, we do have a desal plant in Apollo Beach. It is being ready to be started up later this month. It had to be taken offline last October for repair work, so we got through the drought without the use of one of our 3 sources, and that will be back very soon. Regardless of the source, all the water we supply to our member governments meets or surpasses all of the drinking water standards. And we're taking steps to ensure that we keep pace with the new water quality regulations. These regulations include what they call the polyfluoroalkyl substances, and those are known as PFAS, or forever chemicals. And they are man-made chemicals that are found in everyday products that we use. The new regulations came out, and they are at 4 parts per trillion. And there's 5 years that you have to be in compliance. So the year 2029, you have to be under the 4 parts per trillion if you have PFAS in your system. We completed last year 4 quarterly testing results to see the PFAS, if we had it in our system or not. And generally speaking, down in the South Hillsborough County area in what we call the Brandon Wells, the number was slightly over the 4. So we've hired a consultant that is looking at different things, and recommendations in a report will be out to the Tampa Bay Water Board in early January, February to deal with the treatment primarily in that area of the region. All other tests were below the 4 or non-detect.
Beyond water quality, we are also focusing on increasing the quantity. We have to meet the future growth needs of the area. And right now, we have two major projects in the works to meet the demands by the year 2028. We are working to expand our surface water treatment plant to between 10 and 12 million gallons a day. And the expansion is currently in the design phase and is scheduled to be completed before the end of 2028. At the same time, we were also designing a new South Hillsborough pipeline. The pipeline is a 26-mile pipeline that will carry new water to the fastest growing area in our region, South Hillsborough County. It'll be built in two segments. There's a segment A and a segment B. Tampa Bay Water is funding segment A, and Hillsborough County is funding segment B. This pipeline is also scheduled to be complete by the end of the fiscal year 2028. We are also looking into the future for new supplies. Our demand projections show that we need between 10 and 15 million gallons a day by the year 2033, and a total of about 25 million gallons per day by the year 2043. So last November, the board approved 7 projects. You can see them here on the graph for further feasibility studies. And the projects are ordered from the north to the south, and they're spatially diverse, and they also use differing supplies. They include fresh groundwater, brackish groundwater, surface water, and additional seawater desal. We have just recently started the feasibility studies on these projects, and if any of them are feasible technically, environmentally, and economically, we will be bringing them back to the board for a recommendation in between 27 and 28 for the board to approve them to be online by the year 2033. We also continually analyze our system hydraulics and emergency scenarios. We generally have been updating this report every 10 years. We meet with all the member governments, and we discuss different scenarios that could happen. And the goal here is to make sure that if anything happens, we have some backup and resiliency and reliability. So we have kicked that off. By next year, we should have the report done. And generally what happens, it identifies areas of weakness, vulnerability, and capital improvement projects are born from this. And so you are able to get ahead of things and plan for them before they happen. With the recent storms, that is a very good example of some of the things. You know, I heard about a hot wash earlier. We have completed our hot wash on our storm events, and we're also going to do something a little different this year. We're going to have infrastructure failure meetings where we see what didn't work for us and did work for us, and see if we can do a little differently in time for the next storm season that's just around the corner here in June. And that was just a brief overview, and it's a very busy time at Tampa Bay Water. The region is growing very fast, and there's some new regulations and the water quality are out there. We are committed to serving the community every day, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to allow me to give you an insight on what we're working on. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Councilman Miranda.
I just want to thank you again for the job you do. And water is a very fickle project. When you have it, you don't need it. And when you need it, you don't have it. Because it evaporates. Anything you see open there evaporates for 15, 18% of the volume of air every single day. So it's very difficult. Yes, we have ASR, Aqua Storage and Recovery. The city of Tampa puts in 1.2 billion gallons of water underground between the summer months of July, August, and September. It's treated, put back in ground when we need it, usually in February through April and May. We pull up 8 or 10 million gallons out of that, retreat it, and send it back out. However, notice how many times we treated that water? Twice. But you have to do that because our reservoir only holds 1.2 million gallons of water, and it's like a plate dish. That's all it is. It's in the Hillsborough River, right where the dam is at, just to the east of it. So those things are all necessary for us to be a good partner with Tampa Bay Water. We buy and we sell, mostly buy from Tampa Bay Water, and on occasion they buy a few drops of water from us. But that's what makes us all continuously working for the people at a very reasonable price compared to others. Thank you very much. And by the way, I'm not going to bang myself in the head, but the city of Tampa is only one of 5 utilities company in the whole United States that have a AAA bond rating. Thank you very much for what you've done.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Clendenin.
I just have a question. The explosive growth that you referred to in Southeast County and these other sources, is there enough recharge rain coming into the system to support that type of growth and expansion of pulling that much water out of the system within Hillsborough County?
Well, that's a groundwater where you would have to model to see the impacts of pulling groundwater out. I know that area is what they call in a SWCA. It's a water caution use area, so you cannot get water out of there currently because of some of the environmental conditions.
Right.
We do have a project that we're discussing with Hillsborough County to be allowed to do some groundwater withdrawal in that area, only for the fact that they're putting treated reclaimed water down on the coast that's acting with pressure build up internally into the county, which lifts the water table, and we've modeled to be able to use probably 6 million gallons a day in a new well field inland about 5 miles from where they're injecting reclaimed water. So instances like that, that can be done, but currently right now the regulations is no water in that water use caution area.
Yeah, that's why I was so confused to see this on your map of proposed, sites there, and I'm thinking that's interesting. So, because it wasn't that long ago, a lot of our wells were dry, ponds were dry, farmers were struggling to get water to do their crops, and of course we had severe water restrictions. So I mean, I'm obviously, and I know I share that with Councilman Miranda, concerned about the limited water supply and the type of growth, and especially in that environmentally sensitive areas. And so, how are we going to get water into these counties with those pressures?
Well, that's a great question to allow me to expand on Tampa Bay Water. When we expanded we were created in 1998, each of the members kind of had their own little system. And so what we did is we diversified our supply. So we went away from groundwater and we built a seawater desal plant. We built a reservoir, a surface water treatment plant. And we also, a very key point here, we interconnected the whole system. I don't think I had the map, shows it very well. But if you saw the before and after, you had these pockets. I called them islands. And that was it. That's what the members got. Now everything's interconnected. We have the ability to move water around from different areas. And so if there's an area that needs some help, recovery, we can rotate our well field water. We can send water north, we can send water south. So we're not limited to where we're at. We don't have the one egg in the one basket. We have plenty of eggs. So we have a lot of options now that we didn't have.
So the desal plant, if operating at full capacity, how many gallons a day would it generate?
20 million gallons a day would be full capacity, and that is our intention by the calendar year, end of this year, December. We are intending to be at 20 million gallons a day.
And then the expansion proposal would generate how much?
It can be expanded up to 35 million gallons a day. There was infrastructure that was placed originally to have a future expansion. So 35 is the top limit that it can go to.
And just perspective, how much water do you distribute to your users every day?
Average is about 200 million gallons a day, and of course that difference through the year. We can go 250, 260 during the dry season, and then we can get as low as 175 during the wetter months. But also during the day, it does that same thing. So early in the morning, and when right after 5:30 or so, you'll see the spikes. So. The average is a misleading number sometimes. You say, 200, but you got to be ready for 260, 270 at any given moment.
It's still only a small portion of our daily needs. So people think that the desal plant is, unlimited supply of money. It's still, water is just a small portion.
10% if you did a quick 20 over, 200.
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, we appreciate the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, at this time, we're going to take a 5-minute recess, and we're going to go into public comment. We have over 2 hours of public comment, which will take us to, give or take, 12:30. I'm going to do the consent agenda after, and then we're going to break for lunch. So that's going to be the order. So we're going to take a 5-minute recess because we have to bring more people that are waiting to come in to speak. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Roll call, please.
Carlson. Hurtak. Here. Clendenin.
Here.
Henderson.
Present.
Vieira. Miranda.
Here.
And Maniscalco.
Here.
We have a physical quorum.
All right, we have two registered speakers. They'll go first, then we're going to go to the in-person. First is Mr. Franklin Perez. Mr. Perez, if you're on, please state your name, and we will, okay. And go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hi, this is Franklin Perez. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Great. Hello, my name is Franklin Perez. I live in Seminole and Hillsborough counties. I am here to demand that the Tampa City Council vote to retain the Police Citizen Review Board, not to dissolve it. The people of Tampa fought hard to get a small amount of police accountability, and you should stand up to Ron DeSantis' attempts to silence any legitimate demands for police accountability and transparency. As our Police Citizen Review Board can only review closed cases and not issue any disciplinary actions against the police, there is no reason to dissolve it, according to the text of Bill 601. But even more important than that, you should all stand up against Ron DeSantis' pathetic attempts to bully the people and stomp out local democracy. People need some way to publicly express their issues with police brutality and misconduct, which is clearly still a problem in the Tampa Bay area, as evidenced by the police brutality inflicted against local activist pastor Carl Soto. Save the Police Citizen Review Board. Say no to DeSantis' attacks on the people. Also, more importantly, what we truly need is a Police Accountability Act that would require the formation of civilian police review boards with real teeth to oversee state, county, and city police departments with the full powers to independently investigate, discipline, and terminate problem police officers. We also need to do away with qualified immunity because it gives police officers a virtual license to kill. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. All right, next speaker is Mr. Michael Randolph. Mr. Randolph?
Good morning. My name is Michael Randolph. I want to start off by giving a shout out to the men and women of Hotline. I'm one of those individuals that never learned how to drive, so I depend on the Hotline bus to get me to and from. As a matter of fact, I also use this as an opportunity just to survey the community and get a feel as to what the regular people think. What I've noticed over the last 2 months, or maybe 3 months, that there has been a growing tension between the hotline workers and people who catch the bus or van. That's partly because a lot of buses have been pulled out of service. Hence, you have a situation where the bus or van is late. Doesn't have anything to do with the employees. But what I'm noticing is that there's an ongoing conflict between people who catch the bus and the bus is late and the bus driver who's trying to defend it. I fear that this could arose to a physical type of situation. So I pray that this does not happen, but I did make that observation related to the hotline. A lot of tension is going on there. Again, a shout out to the employees for what they had to put up with. The next is the elephant in the room. Elections do have impact. I fear that we're heading towards a terrible time. Comes to agencies like the environment, especially when it comes to environmental agencies, climate change, civil rights, regulatory agencies being taken apart. I'm very fearful of what's about to happen, but I am also conscious of the fact that we can make it through anything, and that this is just the beginning, but people shouldn't fear what happened, only to embrace it and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, we'll go to the in-person public comment. First is Bishop Michelle Patty, followed by Lance Kane and Michelle Toomer, I believe, Turner.
If I can, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Martin Shelby, City Council Attorney. Just a reminder to the public, as the chair stated, if you're here to speak on Staff reports or anything on the consent agenda, now is your opportunity to do it. If you're here to speak on items that are set for public hearing, as the way it's set forth in the agenda, if it's set for a public hearing, your time to speak would be at the time the public hearing is open. Again, a reminder is this is your opportunity now to speak about items on the consent agenda and staff reports. If you want to, obviously because of the schedule, the staff reports will be heard this afternoon. So you have an opportunity to stay to hear the staff reports, or you could watch them either on CTTV or online as streamed. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bishop Patty, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm Bishop Michelle B. Patty. I will stand before you. This is a bittersweet moment for me and Miss Noreen Copeland Miller family. We're here to thank the Mayor Jane Castor, City Council Janelle McGregory, Cedric McCray, all of you all that has been very supportive of the Memorial Cemetery that she fought so hard to receive. She gained her wings on October the 15th, and we knew that this would be a place she would have wanted to come to thank you all for the fence. The fence now is a permanent fence that has been erected, and we just thought that we would come down with her daughters and the family and community to say thank you to the council that you were very vigilant and you all made sure that things took place out there. Councilwoman Henderson, she thought that most of you, she wanted to thank you for all the stuff you did. You've been doing it in District 5. She know you could not have done things without the support and the vote of all the council. So we want to just say thank you, and I'm gonna just yield 1 minute or two to her daughter. This is her oldest daughter.
Hello, my name is Benicia Jackson, and again, I just want to say thank you all, this City of Tampa, the councilman, and also TPD for the flowers and the resolution, the plaque that we all received. My mom would be so honored to know that everything is going forward with everything, and we just wanted to say thank you in person, and thank you all so much for your support.
God bless you all. Thank you all so much.
Thank you
on her
very
behalf.
much.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Lance Kane, Dr. Kane. Yes, sir, please state your name.
My name's Lance Kane, and I'm a medical doctor. I have a practice for the last 19 years at 508 South Havana Avenue, Suite 150 on the ground floor. Back in 2015, it flooded, and it flooded again a few weeks ago. The first time it was an expensive adventure. This time was a bit more of a devastating blow. The entire first floor flooded, including 4 other doctors. And the elevators still aren't working. So the second and third floors are also suffering due to the hospitality of some of my other friends in the building. I've been able to see my urgent patients in the afternoon, but there are literally going to be thousands of missed patient visits that worry me. Not only financially is it devastating, several $100,000 to rebuild the office and in lost income, but I worry about staff. I know one of the doctors is leaving for good. It's a recurring problem, and I just want to thank you all for the hard work you do and the hard decisions you have to make, but as vociferously as I can, put my support behind any sort of project that can ameliorate and minimize the risks of walking into my office and feeling water lapping around my ankles. I know a lot of my patients are suffering because their house, they say, my house looks just like your office. Horrible. So I know it's not just businesses, it's also individuals in their homes. So I feel very grateful in that regard, but that's it. I hope that we can do something to help with the stormwater drainage and put my support behind that. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Next speaker is Michelle, is it Tunner or Tumer? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Followed by Joseph Nahava and Valerie Bullock. Yes, ma'am. Please state your name.
Michelle Turner.
Go ahead.
I'm here today on behalf of over 30 families located in a non-flood zone impacted by catastrophic failure of our stormwater system during Hurricane Milton. The drainage failure flooded homes, displaced families, and overwhelmed Concordia Park and nearby streets in Bayshore Beautiful. This is yet another example of flooding in Zone X, a zone considered low risk for flooding with only a 0.2% annual chance of occurring. After Milton, we submitted a comprehensive report to the City of Tampa and Expressway Authority requesting urgent action. Our neighbors feel overlooked because no other city officials have visited the site to understand the full impact outside of Bill Carlson. I'm speaking today on behalf of those families, many of who are displaced and unable to attend today. A family is living in an RV beside their flooded home with 3 family members and 2 dogs. Another resident is sleeping in their office. Several families are also living within a construction zone because they can't afford to relocate. None of these families ever expected to flood, nor do many have flood insurance. They relied on assurances that by purchasing a home in a non-flood zone and paying significant property taxes, they'd have a functioning infrastructure system to protect them. Let's be clear, this was not a 1 in 1,000 year event for our neighborhood. NOAA reported a reverse storm surge of -5 feet, meaning bay levels were lower than usual, and TIA recorded just under a foot of rain for the entire hurricane. Yet somehow by 9 p.m., Concordia Park was inundated with 5 to 7 feet of water, which topped the park sign and spilled into our streets and homes by way of flash flood. This was a failure of the stormwater system, not a freak occurrence. This was not the first time our neighborhood has experienced drainage issues. Since the 1970s, the city has managed land here for stormwater, and significant flooding events have recorded in 2000s, 2015, and August 15th of this year after only an hour-long rainstorm. The August flood occurred the same day the excavation began in Concordia Park. Heavy equipment remained submerged on site for well over a week and may have obstructed a critical culvert. Residents immediately raised concerns, urging an investigation for fear that the next storm would flood our homes. Ultimately, we were dismissed and referred to Parks and Rec by stormwater. Only a month and a half later, Milton brought flooding that was 30 times worse. Without any official investigation, we've been forced to sift through GIS maps, public records, and property documents ourselves as non-engineers. We suspect sources of failure to include stormwater culverts that are broken or clogged, poorly designed open drain lines from the crosstown, excessive runoff and erosion from the crosstown, faulty retention pond design, and lack of maintenance, and possibly non-functioning valves. This map shows where all of those drainage points are. It's unacceptable for residents to suffer preventable flooding while bearing rebuilding costs. This community deserves accountability and immediate action from the city. We are requesting an independent engineering study to identify root causes, assess culverts, drains, and pumps functionality in our area. We need immediate short-term actions, including measuring to prevent flooding in the next storm, and a communication plan for residents. And finally, a long-term transparent solution that includes a comprehensive stormwater management plan, regular inspections, mitigation strategies for any projects, including crosstown expansion, which they are issuing an RFP for on November 13th. I implore you to please recognize the urgency of this issue. Otherwise, we are just sitting ducks waiting for the next storm.
Can you submit those documents to our attorney so we can see them?
Yes.
And yeah, bring them up.
I have an entire presentation I can give you as well.
Yeah, bring it all up, and we'll be able to see it and duplicate it. All right, next up is Joseph Nahava, Valerie Bullock, Pam Canella. Is Joseph here? Is Joseph here? And we brought up everybody from the second floor, I believe. So we go up to Miss Valerie Bullock. Yes, ma'am. Pam Canella and James Flynn.
Good morning, I'm Valerie Bullock. I want to talk about item number 39 on the agenda, the City Council Reconciliation Commission. I'm hoping that we move forward quickly in a strategic manner with targeted and measurable goals. The Reconciliation Committee was supposed to meet again and supposed to meet with their recommendation in February, but by the time that the money and everything got together, look like it's only going to be 3 months now, and I'm hoping there's an extension in place so that the commission can have the full 6 months to study and come back with good objectives. And also, we can make the playing field equal now. We don't have to wait until the commission meet. It's some things we can do now. Training is needed in East Tampa. Not only job trainings like apprenticeship with the City of Tampa, with jobs that give people a livable income in the water, wastewater, mobility department, but we also need other kinds of training also. And we don't have to wait for the commission to meet for that. We need to get on this and get on it quick because some people's very lives depend on it. And another thing, mine dealing with the city, I'm gonna talk about the city of Lakeland, that's where I work at. with the city, when it comes to spending money, they are very, very tight. The city of Lakeland started their Pikes program when the federal government gave them money for that. Now, we do pay taxes, and the tax rate have went up, and we got all these new houses being built. Maybe some of that money could have went to the Pikes program. They're sitting and waiting until something happens before we do something about a known problem. That needs to stop. We need to spend the money so that we could fix the problem so that the citizens don't suffer. And it's many things we can do, because I'm pretty sure we have a feasibility study. What are the goals for the 5 years? What are the goals for the next 10 years? And we need to move the money to the targeted area. The city should not let the citizens' pain be prolonged because they don't want to move the money. We have to be proactive in some things. It's just like in my house. If I know my kids, I only have one pack of meat, we got to go a whole week. That means the money I was going to go to the hairdresser with, I need to go to the grocery store with it. And that's how the city need to become. And thank you all very much for your time.
Yes, ma'am. Pam Canella, James Flynn, Mary Lou Bailey. Yeah. Yes. He'll get it. Ma'am, did you sign up to speak to, or you're just standing with her?
Oh, she's going to put the pictures up.
Oh, okay.
I can't do both.
No, I understand. You're good.
Okay.
All right, ma'am, please state your name.
Okay, my name is Pam Canella. My concern is this Howard flooding relief project is excuse me, unsubstantiated, it's a big word for me, and may not be the solution to the Swan and Parkland's flooding problem. A project of this magnitude in a very small, dense neighborhood will have negative impacts. These negative impacts are greater than the positive, and at the end of 6 years and $65+ million, we may or may not have flooding on Swan and Parkland. But this is what we do know. This project will not benefit flooding in these other areas, such as south of Gandy, Palmacia, Kennedy, Town and Country, West Tampa, and West Shore and Manhattan, which still suffer from suffering even though they've been through the project. All these other areas where flooding occurred just a few months ago before the hurricane. A solution that would benefit all of Tampa would be to clean, repair, and maintain our existing drainage system. The City of Tampa website says it best. To keep stormwater ponds and ditches functioning properly require monthly maintenance, which includes grass cutting, dredging, removal of illegal dumping, and trash pickup. Maintenance is a key part needed to help keep the city above water. Yet my personal experience is this maintenance has not been done. The first picture shows 2023, where the ditch was cleaned properly for proper stormwater flow. The second picture is the same ditch now taken in 2024, shows lack of maintenance with overgrowth of vegetation and the only drainage pipe from the retention pond covered over. You'll see how it's covered over. After some convincing to the city, the pipe was cleaned away of debris, and inside the pipe was a Dorito bag, several plastic bottles, a 6-inch garden edging, and a rubber garden hose, not to mention paper items, grass clippings, and sludge. Without maintenance to our retention ponds and ditches, we flood. We now have a city contracted landscaper who comes out once a month and only mows and blows the grass clippings and the leaves, and they end up in the ponds and retention ditches, the retention ponds and the ditches. They do not pick up trash, debris, or overgrowth in the ditches or the retention pond. Another source of flooding comes from alleys that have years of patching layered to alter the flow of stormwater drainage right into our backyards. City engineers told me they need grading and resurfacing. City told me no money. Then there's flooding by overdeveloping, a topic that we have yet to be addressed. I thank you. And all these pictures were taken before the hurricane.
Thank you very much. Next speaker. If we could refrain from clapping, thank you very much. No, next speaker is James Flynn, then Mary Lou Bailey, which is you and Allison Date. Good morning, sir. Please state your name.
Good morning. I'm James Flynn. I'm married to Dr. Linda Flynn, who for the past 20 years has owned an office at 2605 West Swan Avenue called South Tampa Dermatology. It's 2,000 square feet of a 16,000 square foot office building. There's a dental office in there, there's a lab, and there are 2 other primary care providers. Just in our 2,000 square foot office, over the past storm, 3 weeks, 940 patients had to have their appointments canceled. Out of that, about 230 biopsies were scheduled, resulting in generally 86 surgeries. Additionally, 21 we don't catch in time and are more advanced, and they have to go to Moffitt or someplace else for more extensive surgery. So not just the Parkland estates are affected. The patients who, with the canceled appointments, range from 7 weeks to 94 years old. And obviously, being a medical office, our demographics skew older than, say, some of the businesses on Franklin, on Howard. So if you want to take those numbers and multiply them by 7, that's what our building missed out on. And we're not even in Dr. Lance Kane's building. He's across the street. And they also got thumped pretty good. And this is not something that happens when the Gulf of Mexico decides to come into our waiting room. This is summer showers, storm showers, and in this case, an intense rain. But we have seen for the past 20 years on Swan, in the summertime, people lose cars from a simple afternoon shower. Not just 1 or 2 cars, probably 40, 50 a summer get wiped out just near De Leon and Swan. If there's anything that can be done to take care of this, because like I said, it's been 20 years, we've been flooded twice, a couple times down to the studs where we had to rebuild. If anything can be done, let's get on with it. Let's not slow walk this. It's affecting a lot of people, and not just the people who live around there, but the people from the city who come to the offices. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. Mary Lou Bailey, Allison Date, Matthew Battaglia. Yes, ma'am, please state your name.
Mary Lou Bailey, I live at 912 South Oregon Avenue. I'm here to talk about the South Howard Flood Relief Project. I very much agree with Pam Canella's point that we need more maintenance. A lot of times in businesses and in governments, it's not sexy to fund maintenance. So money goes to new capital projects and somehow we find it. But we need a deliberate approach to find the money to do the right kinds of maintenance and upkeep of all these water problems. It needs it like a program manager and a dedicated fund and run it like a capital project, not just something we kind of try to do on the side when we have money to do it. That's the first point I want to make. Second, though, I would actually like the South Howard Flood Relief Project to go forward. It's been studied for a very long time, and I think what we need to do is have stage gates, real stage gates with criteria and public engagement with the engineers there. I know people are upset about some of the routes and other choices, et cetera, but we're just kind of pivoting around. So I wanted to go forward, get engineering started, but have real public engagement. I know Vic's letter says there's going to be public engagement. Sometimes I've been to these public meetings and it's just them presenting out. Real public engagement with real engineering expertise to figure out what the route should be and how to mitigate the short-term disruption to the businesses and the many of us who come and go, taking our kids to school and getting groceries and trying to live. A lot of times the city projects will close down a roadway or lanes of a roadway for blocks and blocks and blocks before there's any construction going on. We can't have that. This is a very busy area. Also, I know they're going to be taking out trees, and I understand the need for that, But like the city has done with the Hyde Park groundwater diversion project, which I'm very familiar with, they're replacing our trees. And we negotiated with them what kind of trees to go in, that they're high-quality trees that one day will provide canopy. There will be a short-term loss of canopy. I'm a tree lover, I hate that, but it's a necessary thing. So I come to you with kind of a practical hat on saying, let's go forward, let's get the engineering started. I'm okay if it's a design-build contract, but there has to be stage gates and criteria where they don't get money and they don't get to go forward unless there's real public engagement with citizens and the engineers at the table doing practical solutions for it. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
Allison Date, Matthew Battaglia, Priyanka Garish. Yes, ma'am, good morning.
Good
Please state your
morning.
name.
Allison Date. In March this year, I visited the Parkland Estates, one of the proposed routes for stormwater pipes, and I helped the neighborhood group locate and measure the live oaks, which is the dominant species along these streets. Gammon Zacharias, a 25-year-old resident, surveyed the canopy in that area and reached these conclusions. If the route selected for the project goes through our residential neighborhood, it will have a devastating impact on our trees. The installation of large box culverts specified in the project require curb-to-curb demolition with trenches up to 20 feet deep and 10 feet wide. That would decimate our tree population. Immature replacement trees will take many decades to achieve the canopy we have now. In some areas, such as Bristol Avenue, the median with a 100-year-old historic well and over a dozen mature shade trees will be obliterated. The loss would be permanent since only shrubs could be replanted in the medians. Even trees in homeowners' front yards could be killed slowly by the project due to root damage. Live oaks in particular, which happen to be 82% of the trees along one of the proposed routes, have a shallow, wide-ranging loop root system that extends far beyond the tip of the longest branch, known as the drip line. The potential loss to the trees is incalculable. Oops, I lost the rip. So these trees also, of course, remove a lot of water, which is what we need with their root system. And putting these large pipes on such small streets will not only create access difficulty for residents and negatively impact the integrity of the older wooden houses, but putting in these pipes will destroy the roots of the grand live oaks in these streets. Despite the large decline in Tampa's canopy noted in the last city survey, removal of the grand oaks has continued to cause losses of these trees. Now, with the large number of trees decimated in the last month's storms making, it's essential that the live oaks in the area are preserved. For all these reasons and more, I am requesting that other less destructive and more direct routes should be considered for these pipes. One of the authors of the City Tree Survey recently said, "In my humble opinion, any large oak that survived the storm should be given an award and protected in perpetuity. Find an alternate route for the stormwater pipes. Please save the live oaks in Parkland Estates." Thank you.
Thank you very much. Matthew Battaglia is next. And please refrain from clapping. Thank you very much. Matthew Battaglia, Priyanka Garish, and Tina Adams. Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Battaglia. I live at 2504 West Parkland Boulevard. Moved there a few years ago to grow my family and make some lifelong memories. I'm a member of the Parkland Estates Civics Club. I know you've received some communications from them. I just want to be clear and on the record that they do not speak for everyone in the group. After my house, among many of my other neighbors who are with me today, got flooded, nobody from the group came to check in on us or ask us our input on anything. So I want to be very clear. They do not represent the entire group as a whole. I'm in favor of starting the South Howard flood relief project immediately. It is not the fact that I run two businesses out of my home and income has been impacted there. It is not the fact that my wife runs a business out of our home. It's not the fact that my floor is getting redone as we speak and my wife is dealing with a number of contractors and loud noises and my two children are being, kind of impacted by that quite a bit. That's a small deal thing in the real grand scheme here. I'm lucky to have my second daughter because She was born on June 18th this year. Every single day that went by, we had a rainstorm. Water would go anywhere from my garage and my front steps, or halfway up my driveway. 5 cars flooded out in front of my house that I was home for this summer. This is not a Hurricane Milton thing. This is not a Hurricane Helene thing. This is an everyday thing for us as Florida natives. It is unacceptable that we have that much water at our house. We're not in a flood zone. This stuff is coming up all over the place. I thank God it didn't rain on June 18th, or else I wouldn't have been able to get to the hospital. It's quite simple. Respectfully to the lady before me, I don't care about your trees. I care about a medical event impacting one of my neighbors and them not being able to get the attention that they need. If there's a fire, God forbid, no emergency vehicles can get down our street. It's impossible. It's unacceptable. And you know what? The trees are the little deal thing. The lives in my neighborhood and my community is the thing I care about, not the trees. The last thing that I'll kind of really say here is there's no reason this is going to take 6 years or 5 years. I've heard a lot of stuff. If there's a problem, you solve it. It's as simple as that. There has to be a solution in place before next summer. Every dollar that I'm spending out of pocket because I don't have flood insurance, because I'm in flood zone X, is going to be for naught if we don't have an issue resolved or a solution in place and this thing resolved by next summer. And lastly, I would just like to apologize to Councilman Carlson. In our last email thread, you had said, there's no proof of Category 3 sewage water in our that flooded out our neighborhood. I would have loved to have bring my wife's totaled car or a pair of my daughter's school shoes here, but the festering, who knows what that was growing in those items kind of prevented me from bringing them here today. But I can guarantee you if nothing gets done, you can come on down and take a swim in my front yard next summer because it'll be right there again. So thank you for your time, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Priyanka Garish, Tina Adams, and Mila Garish.
Hello, my name is Priyanka Garish. I live at 2502 West Parkland Boulevard. I am in flood zone X. My home flooded. Our entire first floor was touched. And until you flooded and have water touch everything that you own, everything that you love, everything that you've built, everything that you've worked so hard for, it's very difficult to explain the pressing urgency that we have to want to fix this. I am pro starting the South Howard Relief Flood Project. I am also a member of Parkland Estate Civics Club, and they do not represent my opinion. We have many neighbors who have been in a similar situation, and I wanted to present a little piece that the news came and did for us. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it.
We had just remodeled our kitchen.
David Adams is cleaning up after Hurricane Milton flooded his home in Parkland Estates in Tampa. His possessions on the curb. His neighbors share a similar story.
The fear of doing all this and putting it all back together and having it flood next hurricane season or even in rainstorms we have flooding. And it's really uneasy and it's very emotionally challenging.
The Garish family lives across the street. They bought their house 2.5 years ago. They took cell phone video as water crept up the street and into their home during Milton. Now they're forced to start over.
All the baseboards ripped up, all the drywall cut out, most of our furniture. We lost our wedding photos, lots of personal items, in the garage and first floor.
Neighbors say the neighborhood has flooded numerous times in the past, and flooding is the city issue related to the city's stormwater system. Adams created a website called Stop Flooding in Parkland Estates.
If we don't, do something about the capacity of the water, which they've been studying for 9 years, these houses are going to continue to flood.
A map on the City of Tampa's website shows planning for the South Howard Flood Relief Project. It involves designing and building a major stormwater conveyance system to improve drainage and reduce flooding along South Howard Avenue and adjacent neighborhoods, including Parkland Estates. A city spokesperson says the project is on pause after pushback from business owners worried about construction. The Tampa City Council is expected to discuss the topic on November 7th.
I would not wish this on my worst enemy. I think that the city does need to be held accountable. All of us are in flood zone X, evacuation zone C.
Signs around the neighborhood encourage support for the project. Neighbors had their homes destroyed in just hours. And if they clean up, they're worried another storm may threaten their houses once again. Julie Salmon, ABC Action News.
I would like to say, I'm also a tree lover. I'm a gardener. I love spending time outside. I'm part of the Tremendous program. I've been nurturing a tree that's been knocked down twice. Our trees are gonna get waterlogged with water from a simple rainfall. I mean, any rain shower over the summer is gonna start flooding and flooding and flooding. They get waterlogged, they get rotted, they fall. It doesn't matter.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Tina Adams, Mila Garish, and Ella Garish. I couldn't hear because of the clapping. If we could please refrain from clapping. Tina Adams, Mila Garish, Ella Garish. Yes, ma'am. Please state your name. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Tina Adams. I live in Parkland Estates, and I just wanted to thank you all that have come out and visited my home, the other homes, and been so nice. I am a member of PECC, but this will be my last year. I've been on the board. My husband's been president numerous times. They no longer represent my interests, the best interests of my home, and I can't support that anymore. So I just want to say that I support the design-build process. I have faith and I trust the engineers and the professionals that you all have employed and hired to look into this for 9 years and to research this and to develop the best plan possible. They have studied this for over 10 years. They have done these jobs before. This is no time for amateur hour. We need work, we need professionals, we need knowledge, and we need to solve this problem. Please let the professionals do what they were trained to do. Stop the needless flooding because our stormwater system is overburdened, inadequate, and outdated. With that being said, there are some things I don't understand. I don't know if you can help me with this or not. Why is a group of approximately 26 businesses, the Soho Business Alliance, entitled to your help and protection when hundreds of families and small businesses who are undergoing devastating losses, physicians' offices, workout gyms, nail salons, hair salons, devastating losses, so those 26 businesses won't be inconvenienced? I don't understand. Why has this problem been studied for 10 years? And the recommendations are there. The professionals have said, this needs to be done. This is the problem. This is how we solve it. Why aren't we doing it? All that's needed is to start digging. Why aren't we digging? Why aren't we doing this? Why are we still talking about this? Why isn't this project already started? You guys have the power and the means to do this. Please vote for the South Howard Flood Relief Project. Make this an emergency procurement. It may not be an emergency to the people and businesses that didn't flood, but it is to the rest of us. It is. It is to the school on Swan Avenue, to the church on Swan Avenue, the loads of small businesses, the physicians on Swan Avenue, the families and the people in Palmacia Pines, and the people in Parkland Estates.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mila Garish, Ella Garish, David Adams. Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Please state your name.
My name is Mila Garish. I am 13 years old and I go to Wilson Middle School, and I also live in Parkland Estates. My goal today is to see if the government actually cares. My family and I decided to stay home for Hurricane Milton because we weren't in a flood zone, or so we thought. At around 9 p.m., the water levels were rising rapidly, and I watched as my parents panicked and had to make quick decisions. When the water breached our home, we were all on our hands and knees with towels. Our entire first floor flooded. Cleaning up is going to be a long, stressful road. Now imagine this threat happens every single time it rains. Our stormwater pipes don't work. We need the city to fix this. Our dream home we built 2 years ago is now a mess. I ask that the city moves forward with the South Howard Flood Relief Project to save our neighborhood. And lastly, PECC does not represent me.
Thank you very much. All right. I also have a 13-year-old named Mila at home too, so good to see another Mila. All right. Ella Garish, David Adams, and Patrick Chimino. Good morning. Please state your name.
Hi, my name is Ella Garish, and I'm 14, and I go to Plant High School. On October 9th, Hurricane Milton attacked the city of Tampa and destroyed my family's pride and possession, our home. The resources I'd had my whole life had been ripped out of my hands. Seeing my parents not being able to protect me and my siblings from the outcome of the storm worried me. I started to think, if I'm not safe now, in my own home, what will become of me and my family the next time an event like such occurs? Even so, regular rainstorms pose a threat to our safety. For over 15 years, the city of Tampa has not addressed this problem. It may not be in my family's control, but it is 100% within the city's control. The South Howard Flood Relief Project is the solution. I ask that you please let the engineers do their jobs. Tragic events like this put multiple things in perspective for me. I don't wish to be afraid every time it rains. So please, help us do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. David Adams, Patrick Chimino, John Simon, I believe. Good morning, sir. Please state your name.
David Adams.
Good morning. My name is
I have a
Megan
video
Lee.
to play.
I own a home on Fountain Boulevard in Parkland Estates. I own a townhouse in Palmacia Pines that flooded, and I rent a storage unit in Palmacia Pines that flooded. I have 3 very good reasons to be angry at the city and this city council. But I'm a lawyer by trade, and I don't win my cases with anger. I win my cases with evidence. So I'm going to walk you through what I can in the next 2 minutes. This is the devastation of the flooding in Hurricane Milton. It is one thing to see the water outside, but this is what it looked like inside our homes. And this is the aftermath. People's lives are at the curb. The environmental disaster of disposing of all of that waste should be obvious. The financial disaster is equally compelling. I'm not aware of anyone at the city trying to estimate the value of the loss, but it is easily in the millions. I say that because the numbers are so high. 146 homes in Palmacia Pines were flooded with approximately 18 inches of sewage water inside them. 41 homes and 1 church flooded in Parkland Estates. 56 businesses, most of which remain closed today, flooded in Palmacia Pines. About a third of those are doctors' offices, which have had to cancel hundreds of appointments. This was not the first time either of these areas flooded. 2015 was the first flood. It was well covered by the media.
A few streets were actually Horatio and Havana. And just a few hours ago, this intersection was filled with water. It was basically up to just about as high as my, I don't know, probably about my knee or a little higher than that.
That clip was filmed at the intersection where my townhouse is located. I had 9 inches of water. Since 2015, the city has been studying the problem, but 10 years later, you've still taken no action. To any council member that thinks you have time to continue deliberating, let me show you a few more photos. This was September 4 in Palmacia Pines. There was no hurricane or even a tropical depression. It was just a typical Wednesday summer storm. I had water in my garage. Same goes in Parkland Estates, where summer rains made the streets impassable 10 times between June and September. I know there are businesses on South Howard that do not want their foot traffic reduced. I understand. But those 26 businesses are looking at reduced traffic for roughly 6 weeks. What about the 56 businesses that have been closed for 4 weeks now with 0 foot traffic and the thousands they are having to spend to rebuild? Why are the interests of 26 businesses on Howard more important than the interests of 56 businesses that have now flooded twice? This project has been funded since 2022. You've received 31 quarterly reports from the engineering department. There is no excuse for further delay. You have all the information you need. The city engineers have spent years coming up with the most cost-efficient and effective way to fix the problem. You know what the public thinks. The people who have flooded their homes and their businesses want you to take immediate action so it doesn't happen again. The people who have not been victims of flooding don't want you to take action. The rains start again in April. There will be more flooding. It is inevitable. The only question is, how many times will you allow, through your inaction, our homes and our businesses to flood before you fix the problem? The number there should be 0. Please approve the Kemmons contract and move forward immediately.
Thank you very
I
much.
thank you for your time, and I sincerely hope that I don't.
Patrick Chimino, John Simon, I hope I read that correctly, and Matt Raddick. Yes, sir, please state your name.
My name is Patrick Chimino. I'm the chair of the Historic Hyde Park, a Neighborhood Association Land Use Committee. I'm here to appeal to you all to please hold mobility in the city accountable for information they're providing about the Howard Relief Project. Everybody, these are horrible stories. My neighbors have been flooded too in Hyde Park. We've had unprecedented rain. Some of it's chronic, some of it not. However, the 25-year-old proposal on the table, have not clearly stated a lot of very important facts. One being they're funneling water for a huge area, west to McDill, north to Kennedy, over to the Selman, into Howard, and including the Selman, and that will end up at Howard and Bayshore. What happens with a king tide? What happens with storm surge? That water will back up into my neighborhood and in Bayshore Gardens. Now, something absolutely has to be done, but let's not make the medicine worse than the disease. Another issue, and I'll point to a project that's 50 years old in Forest Hills, flooding 50 years ago. They put infrastructure in outside of the flood area that now has flooded chronically for years and was horribly flooded during Milton. Again, can't make the medicine. Now, I don't know what the right answer is, but they have not been forthcoming. Mobility and administration have not been forthcoming. So other water management we need to know is, when we had 2 projects with elevator shafts, they had to pump water for 6 months down Howard and DeSoto in front of neighbors' houses. Those are little tiny projects. They're talking about massive water intrusion along Howard. What are they going to do with water? We just want answers. That will go into our neighborhoods. And yeah, it's not a problem today, but it may well be a problem. We're worried about historic assets. Burns Cellar, the Bayshore Royal, Bristol. We have not gotten any firm reassurances from anybody about those. We're very worried about detouring. No specifics about that. And finally, financial management. We're very worried about that. If the precedent of financial management, this is a no-bid contract, if the precedent for financial management is Hannah, it has 70 plus whatever $million, you better budget over $200 million, because that's how much ran over at Hannah. And we need good stewardship. We need solutions, but they have to be the right solutions. And they cannot cause negative impacts downstream to other people. And we're not convinced. Accountability, transparency. That's what we want from mobility and the city and the engineer. We've not gotten it. And even though this is a 25-year-old project, so they've had a lot of time, but not a lot of information lately. So I thank you. I beg you to be scrutinizing for us.
Thank you very much. John Simon, Matt Raddick, and Yvonne Farrelly. Good morning, sir. Please state your name.
John B. Simon Jr. I live at 2614 West Parkland. I've lived there 33 years. I was there 29 years ago when the city put the storm sewer in to fix the problem in Parkland, and it was grossly underestimated. The city can fix this problem, and they can fix it easily with their staff. Brad Baird, who's an excellent guy, and I'm sure all of you know him, just completed the incinerator, which was $100 million in 100 days. So a project of $60 million, Brad is more than capable. You have 2 engineers on your staff, Jeff DeBose, Yvette Polero. I've talked to them for 20 years about this project and doing it. They know how to do it. You have an excellent guy with PJ Callaway that can handle the construction. I don't want any of this work, but the city has the resources and the ability to do this. All you have to do is tell Brad, you need to get this job done and you need to get it done by the end of next year, and let him work. He knows what he's doing. He's very competent. I've worked with him numerous projects. And on these big projects, we did the West River. It was a major project. The city divided in 4 parts, got 4 contractors. You can easily tell Kimmons you need a couple more contractors. Kimmons can hire those contractors, and he can take them from Bayshore to the crosstown, from the crosstown to Morrison and Bristol, and then another contractor from there taking it up Swan. This storm sewer will not change the existing storm. This will be an additional storm system that the city will have. They have the existing. This will almost triple the size of the storm system. It will help the areas west of McDill. It'll help the areas east of Howard. It'll help the areas way north of Swan. This is an additional storm sewer system. And you guys can get this done now. It's not that complicated. The trees on Bristol, I'm so tired of hearing about Bristol. Bristol doesn't even have a storm sewer. From the corner of Bristol and Morrison, the water surface drains down to Lakeview, and because it comes so fast, there's no drainage on Bristol, but in some apartment complex, they have a small inlet, and that apartment complex flooded. That water comes down Lakeview, then it goes north Lakeview to Parkland, and it just creates the flooding. It goes right over the drains because the system fills up. As I gave you the book of the pictures, that's 10 floods, and of those 10 floods, 6 of them were less than an inch of rain. Not everyone knows there isn't a house in Parkland that's lower than the elevation of 18. If the water was 18 in the city of Tampa, half the city, all downtown would be gone. West Shore, Bay Shore, Hyde Park, they would all be gone. This area has been boxed in. It's boxed in from the crosstown, the railroad, and also the other projects. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Matt Raddick, Vivon Farelli, and Mike Barna. Good morning, sir. Please state your name.
Good morning. My name is Matt Raddick. I am discussing item number 61, the proposed East Ybor Brownfield designation area. Now, I'm a property owner directly attached to the brownfield area. I don't know if you can see this here.
Just a moment, sir, just a moment. Is that a public hearing, Mr.?
What's
It's item
this?
number 61.
Will be taken up later on this afternoon, sir.
So I can't talk about it now?
No.
If he speaks now, he won't be able to talk about it then. Is that correct?
Let's see. That is not a, is that a quasi judicial matter?
It doesn't say, just legislative.
No, it's
matter.
vacate.
Well,
On council's pleasure.
Yeah, if you're here now, speak now.
I'll wait for item 61.
No, it'll be after lunch. So if you're here, if you want to speak about it.
Okay, all right, so can we
Yeah,
get
keep
started
going. I'm
again?
sorry, sir.
Okay, cool. All right. Because, you know, my property is right there. It is in this same
Put it on
field.
the overhead so we can see it.
Like that?
No, right there next to you. Yeah.
Upside down.
Other way. There we go.
Yeah, my property is, here's the proposed designated area, and mine is right there. Okay, so as property owners right there, why did we not get notice of this proposed brownfield? We're within the, right there. Chapter 37680 of the Florida statutes is supposed to give property owners within the affected area certain rights. Why am I not afforded those rights? The U.S. Postal Service is supposed to give us notice, anyone who's affected within 300 feet. We were not notified. How many more others were not notified? The posted sign was way off the road, obscured by weeds, and not in compliance with Tampa's notice sign. It had no phone number, no case or file number, and no QR code. Given these discrepancies, I propose the whole notice of public period be started all over again, properly and legally, to give the affected property owners and area residents the information and respect they need and deserve to research this and see how it's going to affect their property. And so just why did the city decide to test for contamination of this vacant lot? What is the history of this lot? Has an industrial business ever operated there?
If you can, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Forgive me for interrupting, sir.
Okay.
But what you're asking for, or
You know,
what you're going to, sir, is a fundamental question of adequate legal notice, and that should be addressed at the public hearing. And my suggestion would be for you to stay if you're able to, because the attorneys are not here, the staff is not here to be able to address your concerns. But that is the threshold question. If something is not adequately noticed, a hearing cannot go forward, so we have to address that initially. But if you're not here to explain it, and if they're not here to respond, then we can't do that. So I'm going to ask that this matter be held, and I'm going to ask you to waive, allow you to have that opportunity to speak at the public hearing.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. So we'll have the hearing later this afternoon, sir, and we'll be able to address it.
Thank you for your help. And what time should I come back, do you think?
It'll probably be after 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Okay, I'll be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your patience. Yvonne Ferrelli, Mike Barna, and Marilyn Samaha. Good morning, ma'am. Please state your name.
Just a moment, please.
Marty. She's gonna.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Everybody wants a piece of Marty.
Thank you so much. All right, good morning, ma'am. Please state your name. We'll start your clock.
Good morning. My name's Yvonne Ferrelli. I live in Parkland Estates. I've handed you all binders. I am going directly to document 3, which is the flooding that is represented in this map here on the stage here. That map was created by the Mobility Department to reflect a type of flooding that would occur after the South Howard project storm system had been installed in Parkland Estates. So this map reflects flooding that would occur in a substantial storm less than Milton, and it includes flooding up in Palmacia Pines and Parkland Estates. It's essentially the same amount of flooding that occurred during Milton in this area, so we know that even if that project had been installed, it would not have helped the poor people in my neighborhood and those that flooded in Palmacia Pines. This is another in the series of these maps that the Mobility Department created. In this, you see, this is my neighborhood, and it still is represented by light blue as flooding in that area after the project has been completed. You see Palmacia Pines is completely flooded in this map, even after the project has been installed. So this is a flooding of a 5-year event. 5-year event is essentially a summer storm. You've heard people here today that have described just a regular rainstorm can cause 2 to 3 feet of flooding in Parkland Estates. This is a reflection of that. It's called a 5-year event, and there will still be flooding in my neighborhood after the project has been installed as it is currently proposed. I ask you to look at documents 5A and 5B. Again, this is a closer inspection. This map was created by the Mobility Department, and you see here, these are the flooded areas that will remain in Parkland Estates after the project is completed. And this is the associated email that goes with that map. And you see that they refer to Gene Duncan, and they say in the light blue blobs are essentially what will remain after completing this project. That's because they have given this project a 5-year event goal, and that is not enough to cure the project or the flooding in my neighborhood.
Thank you very much, ma'am. All right. Next up, we have Mike Barna, Marilyn Samaha, and Rock Scaglione. Good morning, sir. Please say your name.
Good morning. My name is Mike Barna. I'm a 35-year resident of Parkland Estates. And when I heard about this flood relief project, I went to a meeting, and I was told by the people there to please get involved. After getting involved, I went to a city community meeting, and I was told at the meeting by the city that and the design build contractor that we need flood relief. This is the project. We want to do minimum amount of damage to the neighborhoods. and they proposed 3 different routes for the flood relief project. 2 that cut through Parkland Estates, and 1 that went around Parkland Estates. And through my engineering background, engineering training, I was taught to take a problem, come up with a possible solution, which we already have. We all want flood relief. Everybody in Parkland Estates wants flood relief. We just want the best possible solution. And if you take all the variables and you put them together, it seems like if there's different routes, why would you take the route for a commercial project, which is needed, and destroy a neighborhood when you can go around the neighborhood? And it just seems like common sense to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Marilyn Samaha, Rock Scaglione,
Right here.
and Greg Campbell. Good morning, ma'am. Please state your name.
My name is Marilyn Samaha. I live in Parkland Estates. I was elected to the PECC board in May, and I have previously been on the PCC board, and I have lived in our neighborhood for over 30 years. Our board has been supportive of all of our neighbors and transparent with them in our communications about the South Howard Flood Relief Project. We have posted PEC statements multiple times on social media channels, our PCC website, and held neighborhood meetings that were designed to get this information out to our neighborhood. There should be no doubt about PEC's commitment to resolve the flooding issues in Parkland Estates. We have been supported with neighbors that were affected by the flood and the proposed South Howard, Florida route to join PECC to find a stronger level of service from the city that will provide all neighbors with a better solution than what has been proposed. I believe we are all in agreement that flood relief is needed, and PCC will continue to work with City Council, staff, and our neighborhood. PCC wants a design with community input plan, not a design-build plan. We stand with 5 other neighborhood associations and area businesses that do not support the original solution and route put forth by staff. PECC wants a stronger level of service to be provided by mobility staff so that Parkland Estates doesn't flood. We'd like to work with mobility staff to thoughtfully rework the project goals and achieve better flood relief for our neighborhood. Large box culverts, as proposed, are not appropriate for our neighborhood. Tree-lined streets. On the stormwater underground map on tampa.gov, I've looked at major arteries like McDill, Rome, Swan. There are no box culverts. Why our neighborhood? PECC wants to be notified in a timely fashion about all city council and mobility staff meetings that address the South Howard Flood Relief Project related to our neighborhood and or take place in our neighborhood. It is incumbent on PECC to be transparent and informed by the city. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your service and time.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Rock Scaglione, Greg Campbell, and Frank Fernandez. Welcome. Please state your name.
Good morning, City Council. My name is Rock Scaglione, 2718 West Terrace Drive. My family and I have lived in Parkland Estates for 6 years. I have a real estate background, and I help many of the neighbors in my neighborhood sell and buy their home. I was elected to the board this past about 6 months ago, and I was chosen to be president, so we have stepped forward to assemble. Quick background, Parkland Estates, many of you already know, but we comprise of 350 homes. We have a rich history, 100 years deep, and lots of mature tree canopies. People choose this neighborhood to be close to Hyde Park, close to Bay Shore, and particularly because we're not in a flood zone. I do real estate. I know people drive to that area, are driven to that area because of that. And there's no doubt that there is a failure of the stormwater system, and our board is highly empathetic to the losses that nearly 10% of our neighbors has sustained during the hurricane in particular. When the board and I took office in April, we came together to quickly sort of assemble what's been going on. And many of the neighbors at large did not know about this South Howard flood relief program, so there was poor communication across the board. But now that we've sort of dug in, and we've been listening to the neighbors, listening to those impacted, listening to everyone, I'm trying to get a consensus of the concerns of the neighborhood, which I believe are, a larger plan may take several years. We do need a quick fix. We need something to happen in the next 12 months. We see that water from the neighborhoods to the north are flowing down. There's video capturing coming down Audubon, coming down Armenia, and so forth. So what are those neighborhoods doing, or what are we doing to help those neighborhoods sustain their own water? There used to be a massive concrete fountain in Fountain Park, and we believe that there could be this large concrete impermeable, surface underneath the soil. We want an investigation into that to see, is that possibly preventing some of the natural dissipation? We believe that there's not enough routine maintenance on the current stormwater pipes, and that debris could be clogging and creating blockages. And as it relates to the larger stormwater plan, we strongly feel that the large box culverts have no place on these small tree-lined historic streets, and we prefer them to be to the big areas and the big roads. And we know that there are other routes that could be potentially explored. We've just not heard of them. And so we'd like to see more options on the table to support a plan. We strongly oppose the approval of a design build because we believe that if we just support a design with community input, the city, the engineers, the city council, and the community, all of us can come together to work collaboratively on a plan that achieves all of our goals. Thank you very much for your time and service.
Thank you very much, sir. Next up, Greg Campbell, Frank Fernandez, and Rumela Das. Good morning, sir. Please state your name.
Morning. Thank you. My name is Greg Campbell. I am a member of the Parkland Estates Civic Club Board. I was elected last May, was recruited really, last May with support from both sides. I'm not sure I would have it now, but you see that we have differences among us. And trying to work through those differences and come to a conclusion we all can agree on is the big assignment for us. I think I've seen progress. There's obviously still more to make. We need your help, your support. Coming up in very shortly, as I understand it, you have to vote for or against a design build project. As I understand that, design build, if you approve it, you effectively remove yourself from the process thereafter. It proceeds on its own course. We're asking you not to do that because we need your continued help and support as we work through our own issues and as we seek to work with other neighboring associations and all together to work on a project that really can be good for the community. So our plea to you, as it comes up, vote for design with continued community input so that together we can work out a system that is best for all. I live on the corner of Fountain and Audubon. The front corner is Fountain and Audubon. The back corner is Swan and Audubon. That is ground zero for flooding. Barbara and I are now in an Airbnb bungalow as our home is being fumigated and all the things they have to do. We know about flooding. My parents bought that property in 1953, and I've seen it across all these years. We do know about flooding. Milton was the worst. No water in the house before this last couple of weeks, but about an inch now. But that wreaks havoc. We do need help. I do think that the idea of box culverts along commercial avenues leading to the bay is a very good one. I'm not an engineer, but it makes common sense. But not in the neighborhoods with the tree-lined streets and the older homes, where you destroy the ambience. You cut off your hand in the process to solve a problem. We can have both. Box culverts in the avenues and and pipes, larger concrete pipes in the neighborhoods, box culverts on the main thoroughfares. That's the way we think we can go. We do need your help.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Frank Fernandez, Rumela Das, and Amy Braun, that's how I read it. Good morning, sir. Please state your name.
My name is Frank Fernandez. Good morning, distinguished City of Tampa Council members. I own the business on the corner of Swan and Armenia. It is 2503 West Swan Avenue. I also own the building directly behind that. It's 609 South Armenia. I would urge you to vote for this relief project. You've heard a lot from people for a long time. Our building was severely affected by it, causing hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage. I own 3 businesses that operate out of that building, and we are still not up and running. There is no one in the building. It had to be cleared out immediately after the storm. I have multiple other businesses that operate out of my building, other law firms, other accounting firms, other professionals that have been displaced, and it's a problem. The issue is this construction project. No one wants to go through it. I certainly don't want to be troubled by the destruction of the roads. I live in Hyde Park, just down the roadway. But the question for you all is a very simple one. Is it necessary? That's the only question before you. Everybody's talked about issues, but really the only question before you is it necessary? Well, you've seen the pictures of all the flooding. That's happened repeatedly, even when there's not hurricanes approaching us. Our building, when we built it in 2014 through 16, was civil engineered to avoid flooding, and it didn't. So it's definitely necessary. You have a mobility staff who's told you it's necessary. You have civil engineers who have given you reports saying that's necessary. And you've known these things for years. You have a few owners of businesses that are in opposition to it. That's understandable. It will affect their businesses, but in the end, it will be better for their businesses. The issue also is civil liability for the city. That's a huge issue because you have all these people who have been damaged, not theoretically damaged, but actually damaged, who under 768.28 could bring claims against the city, multiple claims. So even if you have someone's car who has been damaged, that person could bring a claim against the city. And so while you may have theoretical damages of other property owners or other business owners, these people are actually damaged and actually have the ability to bring civil claims against the city. It's so in addition to the bill to just fix the project, whatever it is, $64 million, you may have their claims stacked on top of it, plus the city attorney fees. And
thank you very much, sir.
Thank you all for your time.
Rumela Das, Amy Braun Bruin, and then Jane Simon.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am. Please state your name. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning. My name is Rumela Das. I'm a homeowner in Parkland Estates, and I live there with my husband, my 4- and 1-year-old baby boys. I'm a member of the Civic Club, and I also speak for a lot of the families with young children that don't have time to get on the board of the Civic Club, but they have opinions too, so I'm here to represent a lot of my neighbors. So I'm here to implore you to please, please, please push forward the South Howard Flood Relief Project. I know you have business owners asking you to delay. I've heard, everyone's opinions, worried about trees, things like that, but the safety of our young children comes way above all of that. Please, don't make us wade through floodwaters when we come home from school with our young children because there was an afternoon rainstorm. Push forward this project now, not when they go off to college and we have a relief program coming then, if they can make it that far. Let's get to that point with our children being safe. That's all I'm here to talk about, so thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Amy? Yes, ma'am. Jane is after, and then Joni Cornell or Cornell. I can't see the letter. Yes, ma'am, good morning.
Hi, my name's Amy Brown. I want to thank you for listening to all of us share our feedback on the Parkland Estates Flood Relief Project, and appreciate your patience. So I'll try to keep this short. I live in Parkland. I am a active member of the Parkland Estates Civic Club, but I do support the design build project and would like to move forward with the flood relief project as soon as possible, and would love to see your consideration for swift action. With all due respect, the communication that was mentioned earlier, it was all retroactive kind of after the fact. So we did learn about the PECC board's stance, but it was retroactive. First, I'd like to call out that I'm in the neighborhood, but I did not flood. So many of the people here, they all flooded, but I'm still in support of trying to get this done as soon as possible. We pay high property taxes and moved to Zone X for a reason. I shouldn't be held up indefinitely by the feedback about trees in front of houses or a couple dozen businesses in Soho. It's not just the people that flooded that want a resolution now. I represent many people that did not flood that still support quick action because I know what we need to do to protect our neighborhood for the next event. Lastly, I work from home. Too many families and businesses have been hit. Many of the folks that work from home, we represent small and local businesses, were affected by the disruption of the floods, and we're jeopardizing those contributions to the local economy. So I'd like to reiterate that we'd like a solution. I'd like a solution as soon as possible. And we do have the plans, the engineered plans, so please vote for it on November 21st. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am. Jane, you're the next speaker. Please state your name.
Jane Simon.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Good afternoon, City Council members and other citizens of the community. My name is Jane Simon, and I lived in Parkland Estates for 13 years. I was a member of the Civic Board for 6 years, and I became president in 2022. In 2023, I was forced out because I was in support of this project. During the years that I've lived in the neighborhood, flooding has been a major issue where all of us worry about the impact on our community, our kids, our cars, our houses. There have even been ruined FedEx trucks, and unfortunately, that driver was injured. The flooding affects all of us, and it will ruin several trees along Fountain Boulevard. For work, I'm actually a grants administrator, and I know the importance of grant funding, and I know how to work with restricted dollars. These dollars won't be around for forever. It would be a tragedy to lose the funding for this project because of a few neighbors who aren't looking at all of the facts. My network is large in the neighborhood, and I know and represent several families who support this project because the flood mitigation is desperately needed. We cannot stress over the details now. We need to let the engineers do their work, and we need to let this project proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Joni is the next speaker, followed by Mr. Albert Cook and Rick Larson. Good morning, ma'am. Please state your name.
Good morning. I'm Joni Cornell.
Yes, ma'am.
I have had a business on Howard Avenue for over 38 years, and I understand everyone's concerns. I feel such sympathy for everybody in Tampa and around our state that has had so much damage. Addressing that, I feel that the problem with the South Howard project is that South Howard is a two-lane street, as we all know, and closing it down section by section is detrimental to the businesses on South Howard because of the street access from the side streets. Because as you know, you close down Howard, access to Howard by emergency vehicles, those delivery semi-trailer trucks that need to get to everyone's businesses to deliver, the streets will not allow that. They're not big enough. And having said that, also it's detrimental to every business on Howard because once Howard is blocked, customers are not going to even go to that area. They're gonna go, oh no, I'm not gonna deal with that kind of traffic, and they go somewhere else. And I understand that people that have had their homes forever, but like there are businesses on Howard that have had businesses forever. I feel that there should be some way that the engineers could come up with a plan to move this to, and I don't want to get shot for this, but to McDill, that's a 4-lane street, so that only 2 lanes would have to be closed. I think that that's something that should be looked at seriously, because that might be another solution. And yes, it will affect traffic on McDill, but if they only close 2 lanes at a time, there would still be access to everybody's homes, to the businesses on Howard. You know, it's very disturbing what has happened to our city and our county and Pinellas County, you know, around the entire state. And I just think that we need to take another look at our area, our part of town, to remedy this and think outside the box. I think everyone is focused on Howard Avenue, and maybe they should look elsewhere. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next up is Mr. Albert Cook. Good morning, sir. Please state your name, followed by Rick Larson and Dorothy Bland. Good morning, sir. Please state your name.
Good morning, City Council. My name is Albert Cook. I live in VM Ybor. Today I'm going to talk to you, I'm going to comment as a member of the Citizen Review Board and chairman of the newly formed Chiefs Advisory Panel. Today you will vote on the Tampa Citizen Review Board City Ordinance. First, a quick history. In 2015, the Citizens Review Board was formed to enhance trust between the Tampa City Police Department and community it serves by creating an unbiased panel of citizens to review completed disciplinary cases and issues of importance or interest to the community and the police department. The review board reported its findings to the chief of police, and when appropriate, may recommend possible policy changes. Earlier this year, Florida state legislators passed House Bill 601. This bill essentially ends citizen review boards throughout the state. Fortunately, TBD Chief Lee Burkhaw understands the value of citizen input and created a new oversight board called the Chiefs Advisory Panel. In an introductory letter to the panel, Chief Burkhaw stated, "This panel serves as an opportunity for independent review and feedback on TPD operations. Members of this panel will have the opportunity to directly examine and provide informed insight on police policy and confirm that it aligns with the needs and expectations of the community it serves. This panel will foster transparency, strengthen police-community relationships, and ultimately help in the shared goal of making Tampa safer." The Chief Advisory Panel consists of 6 citizens and 1 retired police officer. The meetings are attended by the chief, his deputies, and a senior assistant city attorney. Because Chief Burkhaw attends the meetings, panel leadership does not have to report to the chief. He is present at the meetings, reducing administrative red tape. We will meet bi-monthly and plan to have our meetings at public venues throughout the city, including TPD district offices. The Chiefs Advisory Panel has already met, elected its leadership, and has begun working on its first project. This is not the end of police oversight. It will be a different format within the guidelines set by our state leadership. Thank you for your time, and we appreciate all you do.
Thank you very much, sir. Rick Larson, Dorothy Bland, and Carol Ann Bennett. Good morning, sir. Please state your name.
Good morning. I'm Rick Larson. I live at 807 South Lakeview Road. I've lived in Parkland Estates 22 years, and I love my neighborhood and I love my neighbors. I'm not going to go. I have notes that it took me hours to type. I'm just going to talk. hurts my heart to hear my neighbors say that they're not being represented by our board. In April, we had our annual meeting, and they voted out the old board because of this issue and put us in. I really wish I hadn't run, because this is not fun. We're trying to do everything we can to help. I think you guys understand. We are all for starting this project yesterday. We just asked for two things. We think the design build together is dangerous for us as a neighborhood. We would like your protection. And if we can have a separate design and build, we could have community input that actually matters. And if we didn't like something, we could come back and ask for help. You can't do that if you put the project together. We're doing that for the neighborhood because we really want to protect our neighborhood. We love our neighborhood. It's a beautiful, historic, tree-lined neighborhood, 100 years old. When they presented this to us, I didn't even know about it till March. I mean, this has been going on for 10 years. We knew nothing. So in March, I start digging and we start looking. There's 3 planned routes. 2 of them go through Parkland. One of them is the most obvious, which goes halfway up Howard, past the Thai restaurant, comes back to Bristol and back up Lakeview. Makes no sense. 5 turns halfway up Howard. They presented this to the businesses and said, hey, we're going to bury your electrical wires. We're going to widen the sidewalks. We're going to do new landscaping. We're going to slow the traffic. But you know what? They're only doing half of Howard. Why don't they just go all the way to Swan and down to Parkland Estates? That's the issue. This is a regional, community-based problem, and they're trying to solve it by destroying a neighborhood. It makes no sense to ask us to do that. It just doesn't make any difference. I'm here today, though, to say, even if they started today, I know this is a 3-year project at least, just by their own numbers. So I looked into this. I've been reading. I'm not an engineer. All of the water for Parkland Estates is being created from the north of us. The Palmacia Pines people that flooded, all that is Memorial Hospital, which just did an expansion, all these townhouses that were built on single-family homes, 2 and 4 townhouses. There's no nothing but concrete up there. And the roads are all designed, Audubon and Armenia all come right into the mouth of Parkland Estates. That's what the engineers did, that they're asking us to trust. In their own report, you can read that it says the streets are milled wrong. They got paved and repaved, and they never were milled correctly. So their own drains, sewer drains up in Palmacia don't work. So that water is on the surface flowing right to the mouth of a known flooded area. And that's what's happening to our neighbors. So much of this could be changed today. Like, that should have been changed before. It's in the report, right? That could be corrected immediately.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Dorothy Bland is the next speaker, followed by Carol Ann Bennett, and then Pointer. Yes, ma'am, please state your name. That's what the card says.
Thank you. Is there a microphone?
Yes, it's hidden in
It's
the
here. It's
hardware there,
magic.
but it'll amplify and
Thank you.
pick everything up.
My name is Dee Dee Bland. My husband and I live in the 33629 zip code and own 3 long-term rental residences also in 33629. And quite frankly, the PECC board's politics that are trying to protect the ambience of the neighborhood are very troubling to me. As a property owner in the city of Tampa, I have serious concerns about the chronic flooding that plagues small businesses and neighbors in Parkland Estates, Palmacia Pines, and others. It is merely a matter of time before that flooding permeates more Tampa neighborhoods if the proposed flood relief project does not proceed. The flooding in Parkland Estates on September 4th and again during Hurricane Milton was preventable. Because high-profile business owners on South Howard Avenue and some non-flooded residents in Parkland Estates succeeded in blocking city council from doing their jobs by improving the stormwater drainage, numerous families have lost so much. This flooding should have been preventable. Please don't continue to be complicit in future preventable flood damage and distress. Proceed with the proposed floodwater relief project. This flooding problem will not just go away on its own. We're counting on you to take action and protect the city of Tampa residents.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Carol Ann Bennett, Pointer Montesma. Yes, ma'am, please state your name.
Hi, my name is Carol Ann Bennett. My house is at 17 feet. If what everyone is saying, that their houses are 21 feet, I would like to compare my experience to theirs. My street was a river, but it was a very fast-moving river that drained very effectively. We had no inkling of any flooding because of that. So if they're at 21 feet and they experience that flooding, there's something wrong with the stormwater system, because the stormwater system in my neighborhood at 17 feet worked wonderfully. So there's something wrong. The problem is you've got to actually fix it. You can't think you're fixing it, you got to actually fix it. $250 million was budgeted for stormwater. There was a special assessment on our bills with the bonding. It's probably going to be $500 million. A good bit of that is in my neighborhood near Manhattan. And they did that work. And you know what happened when I drove down Manhattan after these storms? People's mattresses and belongings were at the street because it didn't work. Did it help? Yes, it helped. Did it reduce some of the light flooding, the flooding that we experience all the time? Yes. But did it help with Helene and Milton? No, it did not. Those people's houses flooded anyway after the project that was supposed to correct it is done. So the most important thing here is everybody knows and agrees it's a problem, but you got to actually fix it. So if you do, this project is not going to do anything for anybody in Palmacia Pines. Right here, the city's stormwater engineer says our pipes for this project will not extend further north than Parkland Estates. They've got documents saying this project is still going to have flooding, which is what happened in Manhattan. We still have flooding. The worst thing you can do is approve this project as is, and then 5 years from now when it's finished, and then 2 years after that when they realize it's not fixed, then there's 2 more years of figuring out how to fix it, and then there's 5 or 6 more years of doing the other fix. It'll delay the solution. A lot of these people whose houses flooded will still flood after this project because this project isn't good enough. If you have to spend more money, spend more money. But fix the problem. Fix it for Palmacia Pines. Fix it so that their houses don't flood anymore. I just think this is a bad plan. It's not good enough. A no bid, design build, bad idea. There's got to be other options. There's got to be better options that will really fix the problem. And just a quick comment on the trees. I want to point out that even if you don't care about the aesthetics of the tree, think of the money. Trees save money. Millions of dollars of every year in stormwater and flooding damage is prevented by the trees. A mature live oak captures over 35,000 gallons of water when we have an event like this. So all the water they had in their house, if those trees had not been there, they would have had more water. But you don't see that. You don't have this giant rain gauge that says, oh, look at all the water the trees prevented from going in their house. So eliminating the trees is a bad idea.
Thank you very much. Pointer, Montesnot, Steve Mickelson. Good morning, ma'am. Please state your name.
Stephanie Pointer. I need to take and zoom out. What I've given you is a copy of the current comprehensive plan. It's page 248. It says that we are supposed to be limiting public expenditures for infrastructure within the coastal high hazard unless it can demonstrate. And then I have put a little box around it. And all of these things are hardening of our infrastructure. But 2 months ago, this council approved $26 million to be spent on a river walk. It violates the comprehensive plan. It's in violation of this comprehensive plan, and this language is in the next comprehensive plan. That $26 million should be spent on these projects. Now, I got bad news for these folks here, because they're not going to like this, but they're doing a project in the South Peninsula. Okay, this is our project in the South Peninsula, the McDill 48. And look, it was approved the same year as these folks' project. And we're in construction, and I got an invitation to the ribbon cutting for November 12th. But their project looks like this. I keep asking y'all to look at this little thing, but I can't figure out. I'm like, wow, this is a new project. This is the first time I heard about it. And it's only being talked about now. It's kind of jacked up. I also want to remind you that when we looked at the stormwater assessments, and I'll be honest with you, I will say this again and again and again. If I'm wrong, let the budget people, let Revenue and Finance come talk to me about it, but this was the big money that was taken out of our stormwater assessments, and 78% of it was spent on personnel. They weren't laying in front of these people's houses keeping the water out. What are we doing? And some of it was obviously mobility, folks, not just stormwater. Okay, you know, there's stormwater failures. I won't even get on the wastewater nonsense because it's nonsense. Y'all need to start getting out and talking to the people who put their hands on the equipment and find out what really needs to happen in our city. Stop the vanity projects. I'm sorry, but the Riverwalk needs to be shit canned. Oops, I'm sorry. It does, because we can't afford to do it. We have problems, huge problems throughout the entire city that need to be addressed. According to, on the 17th of October, there were 6,306 houses that were destroyed at least to some degree. 6,300. That's a lot of freaking people. And I'm amazed that we don't have people from all over the city coming in here every single week. I'm amazed that those folks aren't here. You know why? Because most of them are at work. And these people had to go to work today too. And you've been out and talked to them. You've met with them. Do the right thing. It's time to rescind that contract and do the right thing with that money and fix people's houses.
Montesnot, Steve Michelini, Victor DeMaio. Good morning, sir. Please state your name.
Montesnot means anything's possible. Tampa, Florida. Want to say uhuru. Uhuru means freedom in Swahili, and we as African people should always be thinking about our freedom. I want to have a moment of silence for the people in Palestine. Beyond the moment of silence for the people in Palestine, I want to have a victory statement for Kamala Harris. She won the election fair and square, because anybody who had 107 days to prepare against Donald Trump and still received millions of votes, that's very courageous and very commendable. One of the things I always teach my kids, all of my kids, from the oldest to the youngest, don't drink, don't smoke, don't gamble, don't be dishonest, don't lie, and always try to be honorable. I'm going to have to go off course, and I'd like to make a bet right here and right now. Although it teaches my kids don't gamble no matter what, that's the biggest problem inside the African community, gambling. Not police violence, not unemployment, not poverty, not miseducation or de-education. Gambling, not believing in God and all the stupidness that goes with it. Gambling is the biggest problem inside the African community. And you have to have a lot of restraint to stay away from it. Oh, you can win this, win that, do this, do that, get rich quick, all kind of get rich quick schemes. But I want to make a bet right now. Go outside of my way of thinking and my beliefs and make a bet right now. A bet, if it floods at Raymond James Stadium, a bet they'll have it fixed by tomorrow. If it flood at Raymond James Stadium tonight, that flooding problem would be fixed tomorrow. And if you pull the old videos, you would see for 40 years, I've been complaining flooding in Bayshore, flooding in South Tampa, flooding in Henderson and Del Mabry, excessive flooding. Nothing's been done about it. The city council have to be more sensitive to the people's needs. And that's throughout the city. And that's very important. That's why the people elect you to do these things. And like the person say, the Riverwalk and other things, all these blue lights they putting in the river and whatsoever. It's time for that to stop.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Good morning. Mr. Steve Michelini, Mr. Victor DeMaio, Ms. Suzanne Fernandez.
Good morning, Council. Steve Michelini. I sent you an email last night. The issue here is, you know, we're playing the blame game. The people in Parkland are blaming the businesses for stopping this project or because they caused this project. Every single new project has to meet stormwater codes. When a project comes to you, we've always noted you cannot waive stormwater requirements. There's no provision for that. New projects have to put in essentially 16-inch drainage pipes. They connect to the city system, which is 100 years old, and they're 8-inch pipes. So you have a massive amount of water trying to get through from 16 inches to 8 inches. One of the other issues, and I'll show this to you, people continue to put trash and debris in front of stormwater inlets. I mean, I send out probably a dozen emails over the last week or so. Don't put trash out there. Don't put your trees and your limbs out there next to the curb and next to your stormwater inlets. They keep doing it. South Howard is very narrow. There is no room. We asked the city to consider one lane shutdown. They said no. They can't do it. So you have to shut down the entire street. And that doesn't affect just that block. It affects the block ahead of it. It affects the blocks two blocks behind it. You can't get purveyors through. You can't get solid waste through. You can't get ambulances through, fire trucks, nothing. And there is no walk around because there are no parallel streets that service the area. And you can see, you know, basically the Soho Overlay District requires the buildings to be pushed up to the right-of-way line. There isn't any room. And so it's not just a minor inconvenience, it is a death nail to the businesses. They cannot survive. During the storm, when they were shut off for electricity, when they were shut off for 6 or 7 days, most of the businesses lost 80% of the income. We talked to TECO, I know TECO's involved in this as well. They'll run the lines underground on the street side. The connection fees are $300,000 per business or more. You know, when you have a system and a stormwater system that relies on gravity system trying to get it to the bay, what happens with a surge? Your pipes fill up, they can't go out to the bay, they can't go anywhere. The maintenance, you have stormwater inlets that are uphill from basins. That's true in Parkland Estates. They are uphill from where the water is. The same thing is true in New Suburb Beautiful. A serious attention has to be given to all of this in maintenance, repairs, reconstruction, adding inlets that actually work where the water goes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Victor DeMaio, Suzanne Fernandez, and Jared Dyer. Please state your name, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Council. My name is Victor DeMaio. My office is 1205 North Franklin Street, Suite 103. I'm here representing Burn Steakhouse, Epicurean Hotel, and Haven. We have hundreds of reasons to oppose this project. Those are the hundreds of employees that Burns employs, Epicurean employees, and Haven as well. I thought it was 3 years now. The last report I've seen, it's a 4-year project. This would just destroy our business. For those of people who don't know, Burns has been around for about 70 years. People come here to Tampa from all over the world to come to Burns Steakhouse to have dinner. They stay at the Epicurean, they have dinner at Burns. One of the reasons we're so famous is because we have the largest privately held wine collection in the world. No one, this is not Florida, US, the entire world, no one has a larger wine collection. We have over 1 million bottles of wine. A lot of that wine is stored in a building you see when you come into Burns that's inches away from this proposed project. One of the things you don't realize is that when we built the Epicurean and the Epicurean across the street, we had to pump water for months. When you start digging that hole to put this 30-foot culvert, and this isn't a little pipe, this is a pipe that all of us could literally walk through and stand up. It's gonna fill in with water. And that building, what's gonna happen to that building, which is inches away, that's 120 years old, if it falls into that hole? Down the street, we have the Bayshore Royal Hotel. Their restaurant has already been condemned because of a foundation. Everyone in that building is freaking out right now because that building itself, without this hole being dug, is in serious trouble right now. And that's just a block from Bayshore. And like I said by the council previously, if you build this, you spend $70 million on this no-bid contract, and that water is heading down to Bayshore and it's high tide, where's the water gonna go? It's gonna come back up, all right? There's gotta be a little bit more thought put in this. One of the ladies here that spoke, she gave an alternative. Why not go down MacDill? We have Howard, as you know, is a tiny failing two-lane road. There's no way out. The back Epicurean Hotel, there's the Crosstown Expressway. You can't get people in or out of there. We have contracts with some of the largest airlines in the world. Every visiting hockey team that comes to Tampa stays at the Epicurean Hotel. We would lose all that business. And we have weddings booked up now for the next 3 years. What are we going to tell those people? So I'm begging you for an alternative. We can put a man on the moon. You can send a pipe down MacDill as soon as you can, Howard. I would love for the council to just demand that the engineers come out with alternative plans and study this a little bit harder. I talked to 2 mayors, by the way, that told me they had this project on their desks years ago, and they turned it down because they did not want to destroy all the businesses on Howard. And they asked the engineers, how long does it take for that water to drain? They told her 15, 20 minutes. So you have to make that decision. We feel sorry for the people from Parkland Estates.
Thank you very much,
And
sir.
we're sitting here willing to help
Thank
and
you very
listen
much,
to
sir.
everybody.
Thank you, sir. Suzanne Fernandez, Jared Dyer, Annalise Meyer. Good morning, ma'am, please.
Good morning. I'm Suzanne Fernandez, and I've owned property in the Palmacia Pines area for over 20 years. I provide housing for over 30 families. I think I'm a great landlord personally, but out of this, because of the recent flooding of Milton, I've got 14 residents that are homeless. This is a flood zone X, a non-evacuation zone, and everything they have is destroyed. I've spent over 6 figures to date, and I may be halfway through putting their residents back together for them. These people had no flood insurance. I had no flood insurance. So what scares the bejesus out of me is you guys keep kicking the can down the road. You're not stepping up to the plate and making a really hard decision about what's the right thing to do. And until you've been flooded and you've put up with the mess or listened to the sad stories of people that are homeless and have lost everything, you got to get your priorities straight on this. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Because in these 20 years, I've never had flooding like this. 9 years ago in 2015, there was a flooding event at Havana and Horatio. So y'all have had 9 years to address this problem, and nothing has taken place. This summer, you were notified several times because the water was now, after a small rainstorm, accumulating in the yards and coming up the building, up on the side of the building. And it was just a matter of time until something was to hit the tipping point and the water was going to be inside. So it shouldn't come as a surprise to you. But what I am disappointed in is y'all have not brought it upon yourselves to make the really hard decision to proceed with taking care of the flooding problems in our neighborhood.
Thank you very much. Jared Dyer, Annalise Meyer, Benicia Jackson. Good morning, sir. Please state your name.
Good morning. It's Jared Dyer. Thank you for your time. There's, of course, sympathy. I represent one of the businesses on South Howard, and of course, we have sympathy for the situation faced by the residents of the flooded areas. All their stories are just horrible. I can't even imagine. Disruption is an insufficient word to describe what they've experienced, and also what the businesses would face if the South Howard Flood Relief Project moves forward in its current state. And listening to the comments today, it seems like the residents don't want the culverts to go through their neighborhood because of disruption, but they're fine with pushing that onto another area of the city, which would not only affect the businesses along Howard Avenue corridor, but all of the residents and all of the streets that feed into that, having to deal with the increased traffic from vendors trying to get to the restaurant. You can't take a semi-truck down those streets. And we've heard suggestions from the city that we should ask our vendors to use smaller trucks There was also a suggestion from Mobility that they would get golf carts to ferry customers to the businesses and to help deliveries. That's just completely implausible and impossible. The issue for us businesses isn't that we're being inconvenienced or that we're more important than the homes and businesses in the flooded areas. As one of the TV stories mentioned earlier that someone played, that the project would reduce flooding on South Howard, but we don't have flooding on South Howard. So what happens is we bear the brunt of all of the work, all of the disruption, we haven't even talked about the staging of the equipment to do this kind of a project. Where do you put those kinds of machines? They don't drive them away every night and put them somewhere else. They have to keep them in the neighborhoods. And so we bear the brunt of the hardship, but there's no upside. The South Howard businesses, of course, are sympathetic to what happens to Parkland Estates and Palm Sea Pines, but we'll support any efforts, but we're not going to support a project that would likely put us out of business. And that is just the reality of what would happen. We've been there nearly 40 years. We got through the 2008 recession. We got through COVID, but we couldn't survive a 4-year disruption of traffic on Howard Avenue. Customers, they just see it as, I don't want to go in that whole side of town, and it would affect everyone down there. They don't know that, oh, well, the 4-block section of where my restaurant is accessible now. They just go, you know what, Howard Avenue is a mess. I don't even want to deal with it. Because especially if you have someone that comes every week, they may know what's going on. People live in the neighborhood, they may know what's going on. People who live out of the neighborhood, they don't know. So they might come down once a month, twice a month, and if every time they come down, there's a different area closed, they have to take a different detour, they're just going to stop coming. And so that means we lose all of our employees because they can't live without us making money. And then when hypothetically we can reopen, where are those employees gone? We've lost all of them.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you for your time.
Annalise Meyer, Benicia Jackson, David Adams, who was here earlier, I was told he left, but Simi Campbell and Ryan Hayes, those are the remaining speakers. Yeah, there's 2 cards in here, I just wanted to call it, but I get that there.
There's a packet and a map for everybody.
For 1 short. That's yours? Okay. I'm short 1 for Charlie, if you can
Is
share.
there one map short? I apologize. It's been put up before.
All right, no.
It's not critical.
Here you go, this is for you. Yes, ma'am, please say your name and you may begin,
Thank
you have
you.
3 minutes.
Annalise Meyer. Good morning and thank you for all you do. I know that you've had a lot of sleepless nights recently and we certainly appreciate your service. I'm here to speak about the South Howard flooding project. City Council asked staff to explore different routes and not tear apart a historic neighborhood. Apparently, the city staff ignored you with the report coming later today. This project is design build. This is basically an open checkbook by the city to the contractor. Look no further than to agenda items 29 and 30 to see I am correct. That's today's agenda. This project has been written to confuse the public, confuse you, has not been transparent, and most of my neighbors do not understand it fully. This project only makes money for the firm awarded the project. Get the checkbook ready. Your packet shows the sign-in sheet from the pre-bid conference. Since when are $65 million projects non-mandatory to attend? This means staff members are privately talking to firms who are bidding. Please note, the firm that is to be awarded this project did not attend the conference. You'll also see my name as the first name on there. Do we have to ask for public records of staff phone calls now? We have somebody here in the audience who's very good at that. This packet also includes the Stormwater Service Assessment Report from fiscal year 24. That is a very important report in your packet. There is no line item for any box culverts. This project is full of box culverts.
The city website clearly states numerous culverts are over 75 years old and need maintenance, yet the budget this year has nothing in it for maintenance. Look at the pump line item. It states preventative maintenance provided to all 13 stormwater pump stations. That's saying they did this. We know every one of our pump stations failed in these last storms. No maintenance was done. Clearly, we are being lied to. There are completed stormwater projects on the city website which have failed horribly even before the hurricanes. I have provided one of them in your packet, which just happens to be directly related to this project. And it only added to the massive flooding in my neighborhood. These floodwaters enter our neighborhood from the north, which is Palmacia Pines. That issue is not being addressed with this project. A solution that needs to be looked at is the city ballpark between the Old Winn-Dixie and the Crosstown. This is a very large area that could be used for water storage and the park built back on top. This line could go down Swan Boulevard. The Expressway Authority needs to do something with their water runoff when they expand to 3 lanes. There is plenty of easement along the crosstown for this project to go all the way down to the bay. Some of the current stormwater drains already go to the crosstown. I don't have the stormwater map, but you clearly can see where the ballpark is, and it's in the assessment area.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Benicia Jackson. Benicia Jackson. Simi Campbell. And we will close it out with Mr. Ryan Hayes from Cairo and Friends. Good morning, or good afternoon. Please state your name.
I'm Simi Campbell. I live in Parkland Estates on the corner of Fountain and Audubon. So I've lived there 29 years, and in those 29 years, with heavy rainstorms, always floods, always multiple cars stalled out in front of my house, welcoming you in my house until the water recedes. It's continued to, in frequency, to get worse. I know there's concern about so many things that's involved, but with the recent impact of Milton and my house being completely destroyed, I don't think people realize the impact it's having on their homes now, where so much of what was underneath the house is just wet, rotted wood, mold. It reaches far beyond what we're seeing. So anyway, I'm just here to support a solution. I don't know what the solution is, but.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Mr. Hayes, come on up. You're the last speaker for public comment. Thank you for your patience. Please state your name.
Thank you very much, Ryan Hayes. May I reserve an additional 20 seconds? I have a video that's 2 minutes and 12 seconds, and I got, no? Okay. Is that a no?
Is that a no?
I just saw your facial expression.
Yeah, I like following the rules. Yeah, we've had 3 minutes for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Ryan Hayes, also known as Mr. Ruff, runs the nonprofit Cairo Garage, which he calls a recession-proof shop. Items from home goods to baby formula to toys are exchanged for monetary donations.
Lisa, can you zoom in a little bit on the thing?
He's ready to make this season merry with families who've been devastated by back-to-back storms, including his own. The licensed therapist salvaged what he could after hurricanes Helene and Milton displaced him from 2 separate locations.
People have been holding on for dear life, paying rent, electricity, bills, insurance, you name it, and then we have a natural disaster that comes and completely strips an individual or family
The next segment talks about our complementary therapy services with our 2 therapy dogs. I've been coming here for the last 6 months just trying to extend a way of any type of innovating creative ways that possibly the city could that Cairo and Friends could implement with the city. I have 9 questions, and I apologize if they might seem striking, but I'm just trying to make sure I have a full understanding of the city's perspectives. I'm going to send an email, and hopefully everyone can email me. Can the council city members please explain the intent and purpose of a 501c3 nonprofit organization? Do the current city council members currently support a 501c3 nonprofit organization that delivers positive and measurable outcomes outside of a religious entity? If so, what nonprofit organization? Can you recall the last time that an individual on the record has stated that they are part of the impaired community? Besides myself and accompanying my service dog, Cairo, do you know the average age and the ethnicity of a president for a nonprofit organization in the U.S.? Does the city of Tampa have an active pilot or incubation program that helps and assists with local nonprofit organizations?
Thank you very much, sir. Can you email us all those
Yes, sir.
questions?
My last question is that what does the council members ask when they were running for their campaign to hold their current seats?
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes public comment. I'm going to go through the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman?
Oh, I'm sorry, we have item 4. Item 4, we have our city clerk. Do we need Simone Savino is here. Shirley Fox Mills is our city clerk and kicks us off. Does she need to be here? Ms. Harris, all right. Simone Savino, you're expressing an interest in being appointed to a position on the Variance Review Board. You have 3 minutes to make a presentation expressing your interest. I know that you are a former attorney here with the City of Tampa, so you're no stranger here. Go ahead, please state your name, and you have 3 minutes to present. And you're the only applicant for this.
Yes,
position.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair and Council. My name is Simone Savino. I'm an attorney, and I'm before you today because I'm requesting your approval for appointment to the Tampa Variance Review Board. I feel as if I am uniquely situated to serve on the Tampa VRB in the attorney position because, as you stated, I'm a prior assistant city attorney with the City of Tampa. And I served as the attorney for the Variance Review Board while I was an employee with the City of Tampa. So I understand the code, I understand the statutes, and I understand how the board is supposed to function procedurally. Currently, I'm a land use attorney working in the private sector with Stearns Weaver Miller, and I actually prepare and handle applications for variance review boards in other local government jurisdictions throughout the state. So I now prepare these types of applications in my current job, and I feel as if returning to the city, I'm beyond my 2 years of distance. You're supposed to take about a 2-year hiatus when leaving the city attorney and then taking on a role with the city or anywhere working with the city. I feel like this would be able to utilize my experience well. I will be able to use my land use background to serve the community, and if appointed, I look forward to fulfilling this civic duty.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Hurtak.
Would you be willing to recuse yourself from any case that comes before you that is from your law office in entirety?
Yes, I would be willing to do whatever it would take. There's a sufficient amount of screening that goes on. You know, if I wasn't working on something, I really would probably not have any knowledge. But yes, I would be willing to do what it takes to screen myself.
I think that would be probably the best choice, to recuse yourself from anything from your office, just period, just for that. That would be my biggest concern.
And anybody else? I had the same concern, considering you said who you work for, and they come here often, and they're very connected. So,
Yes.
you know, to avoid any conflict of interest, as Councilmember Hurtak said, recuse yourself from anything that has your firm's name on it, whether you have knowledge or not, because we need a fair and transparent process.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have questions or comments? And she is the sole applicant, correct? Yes. We have a motion to approve from Councilmember Clendenin, second from Councilmember Miranda. Is there public comment on this?
No, there is no public comment.
Sorry.
I've prepared the resolution, so if the motion could be to move the resolution.
Motion to approve the resolution.
We have a motion from Councilmember Clendenin, second from Councilmember Vieira. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes the boards and appointments. We go to consent agenda. Councilmember Hurtak, you asked for number 8 to be a separate vote. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to put it under
Sure, we
staff
can do it now.
reports?
I'm just pulling it because I cannot, I'm not going to vote for any sort of facial recognition software. It's not a proven. AI really concerns me. There's a lot of people that are arrested and convicted for things that weren't actually them. So I don't have a comfort level with this, so I just want to be able to vote no.
All right, Councilmember Vieira, this is your committee, sir?
Yes, sir. So let me do, if I may, verse 5 through 7, and then 9 through 15.
We have motion, do we have a second? Second from Councilmember Henderson, all in favor? Aye. And then separate vote on 8?
Yes, sir. I move 8.
We have a motion from Councilmember Vieira, second from Councilmember Henderson. Roll call vote?
Clendenin?
No.
Henderson?
Yes.
Vieira?
Yes.
Miranda?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Hurtak?
No.
And Maniscalco?
No.
Motion carried with Clendenin and Hurtak voting no.
And I'm glad
Oh, you said yes?
Maniscalco is
Oh,
a
you
no.
said no,
I'm
too? I'm
glad
sorry.
Councilmember
And Maniscalco
Hurtak brought
voted
this
no.
to my attention.
Were you talking about it after the vote, though?
Yeah, no. I'm still saying no, but I'm glad that she brought this up, so.
Well,
All
if
right.
you're gonna say that, I'll say this. I spoke to
ma'am.
Chief Burkaw about it, you know, because even though it's $27,000, it's not a lot of money, but, the way that we use it and the trained staff that does use it, is a reason why I'm supporting it, for the police department.
All right. Thank you very much. Councilmember Henderson, you have 16 through 28.
Yes, for neighborhood.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on, no. I move item 16 through 28 for neighborhood and community affairs.
We have a motion from Councilmember Henderson, second from Councilman Vieira. All in favor? Aye. Oh,
I
yes,
actually had a
ma'am.
question about it before. And I did,
Which one?
well, no, I mean, I asked this and I still haven't gotten an answer why 19, 20, 21, and 22 are post special event permits, why they weren't.
Is it because of the storm?
Well, I never got an answer. So I just really want to put that forward to say I never got an answer why we allowed these to go forward without proper permits.
Because one happened actually yesterday, so I was kind of like.
That's what I'm saying.
On the third.
I'd still like to know an answer. So.
Mr. Shelby.
And it was a rock the vote campaign, so that's why I kind of figured like, okay.
On the items 19, 20, 21, and 22,
Yes.
they've already occurred?
Yes.
Was it because of the cancellation from the storm or postponement, or what? Do you know the reason for this?
I do not personally know the reason for that.
Mr.
Councilmember
Chair,
Carlson.
why don't we just hold those until, separate them and hold them until admin report later?
Well, we already voted.
Well,
So we would have to
you could do a
rescind the
motion.
vote.
We didn't vote because I didn't say yes because I was
Okay.
trying to get
Well,
his
I-
attention.
Well,
Okay,
Can
so
we get a motion to reconsider then?
yes.
one of the things that I would like to say is that we did cancel 2 city council meetings. And so.
But again, I
And I
just want an answer. I'm not saying I'm not vote no. I just want to know why.
True.
And I just want to recognize people before they speak, but, you know, I mean, that's just me. All right,
It ain't that hard to solve.
all right, we're gonna take, let's do 16 through 18.
It's my motion, so would you, it's my committee, what do you want? Your pleasure, Chair.
No, I was just saying 16 through 18, and then 23 to 28, we approve them now, but then 19, 20, 21, and 22, we hold it until
I
administration.
would just like to say that these events have already occurred.
Yeah.
For the record. So why can't we just move all of them and then ask for an explanation from staff? Because they've already happened.
Councilman Carlson.
Because if it's not related to the hurricane, then it's disrespectful to city council. And I think we need to hold as was said earlier, we need to hold the administration accountable. And it's worth giving them a chance to say whatever they're going to say. We may approve it anyway, but let them have a chance to answer.
What's the pleasure of council?
You're the chair of the committee, council member.
I move that we just accept all of the committee reports and then allow staff to address the fact that we canceled 2 city council meetings, which is why this was not approved. I don't think we have to go through too much about this for a rock the vote campaign for a vote that took place 2 days ago. It's just, I don't think it's just that big. It's not, the Alzheimer's walk, it's just kind of like common sense in a sense, that's what I'm saying. So, it was a walk for Alzheimer's and the rock the vote on Harris Street, and then Tampa Pig Jig. I don't know what that is, but 2 of them are already self-explanatory, and I just don't think that we should go through a whole lot of changes for something that we know that we would approve anyway.
Councilmember Clendenin?
And I don't see it as staff being disrespectful. I see it as the fact that we had 2 city council meetings that were canceled because of Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton.
Mr. Chairman, so the motion still stands as.
I move all of these.
Councilwoman, so Councilwoman Henderson, I concur with your, what you're saying as far as common sense, but I also think it's kind of weird for us taking a legislative action on 4 items that have already occurred. So I would actually ask you to reconsider that and say, let's just hold, knowing we'll have explanation, let's hold 19 through 22, just to make it a clean operation. We can ask staff, and I'm sure this will be no drama, but let's just hold it.
It's drama now.
But we don't, it doesn't have to be. We just move it and be done.
It's drama now.
Let's just move everything but 19 through 21.
The alternative is, you have the motion before you.
Do we have a second?
Are you withdrawing, who's the second initially?
Wait, the motion was made by Councilmember Henderson to move all items. Councilman Vieira was the second.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't want to interrupt anyone. May I say something?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm fine with holding it so long as we don't take more than like 3 minutes on this thing.
100%.
Yeah, I'm fine with holding it so long as we, again, let's not stretch a single into a home run, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir?
No, we're trying
to single, home run to a single. Yeah.
All right.
So motion to amend it, striking 19 through 22 to hold it for staff's commentary, and then to hold the vote at that point.
We have a substitute from Councilmember.
No, it's not a substitute.
It's a motion to amend, or an amendment from Councilmember Clendenin, second from Councilmember Hurtak. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Nay. Motion carried with Henderson voting no.
And now that motion.
I think I incorporated all in the amendment, because I said we're going to hold it until for staff.
Motion to amend.
Amend it by approving everything but 19 through 22 and holding those 4 items for staff.
So now you have, the amended motion is now on the floor.
Here we go.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So I move the amended motion. There we go.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second from Councilmember Hurtak. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Motion carried with Henderson voting no.
Councilmember Hurtak?
Yes, I am moving
31 was
items
continued.
29 and 30 and 32 through 37.
We have a motion from Councilmember Hurtak, second from Councilmember Clendenin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Councilmember Miranda, Finance.
Chairman, move in Finance Committee 38 through 41.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Miranda, second from Councilmember Clendenin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Councilmember Carlson, you have
Move 42 through 46.
We have a motion from Councilmember Carlson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Councilmember Clendenin. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Councilmember Clendenin.
I move items 47 through 54.
We have a motion from Councilmember Clendenin. Do we have a second? Second. Second from Councilmember Miranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, 55 and 56 need to be set for public hearing February 6, 2025 at 1:30 and November 21st, 2024 at 5:01 p.m.
So moved.
These are at 315 East Kennedy Boulevard, 3rd floor, Tampa, Florida 33602. We have a motion from Councilmember Clendenin, second from Councilmember Miranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We are now in recess until 2.
Good morning, boy.
2 p.m. today.
Okay.
The Tampa Electric Company, TECO, financed jointly by Stone & Webster, an engineering services company out of Massachusetts, and several prominent Tampa locals. As Tampa continued to grow, TECO maintained and operated the dam and power generating facilities on the Hillsborough River for nearly 20 years until the summer of 1916. On June 28, 1916, the dam tender was making his usual rounds when he observed two men at the north end of the dam. When he called out to them, they quickly got into a waiting boat and paddled away. Approaching the gate, he heard what he later described as a muffled explosion under the water, accompanied by a small amount of smoke and gases that smelled like sulfur. The explosion did not cause any damage to the dam. Since the company had not received any complaints about the dam for a number of years, the motive for the attack is unknown. For safety, TECO added a watchman to guard the facility at night. The added security helped for a couple of months and all remained quiet. And then on August 17th, a much more ominous incident unfolded. At about 1 a.m., the dam tender and the night watchman were taken hostage at gunpoint by about 20 masked men. The power station was set afire. The watchman told the intruders that unless he arrived at his nearby home at his usual time, his wife was sure to sound an alarm. The kidnappers released him, but threatened to kill him if he alerted anyone. He ignored their threat, and once released, immediately went to waken the chief engineer, who went directly to the power station to put out the fire. And meanwhile, the dam operator, still captive, heard a whistle in the distant night air. One of his captors returned the whistle and then released the operator with instructions that he should go home. The intruders then quickly disappeared into the night. The just-released dam operator ignored his captors too and stayed to help extinguish the fire before heading home. When he got there, he discovered that the telephone wire to his house had been cut. He then went by horseback to a nearby general store to place a call to his superiors to alert them of the problem. By daybreak, the dam and power station were surrounded by TECO officials and local law enforcement. While inspecting the site, they discovered a large wooden box containing 196 sticks of dynamite tied to 4 fuses. 3 of the fuses fizzled out shortly after being lit. The 4th had burned a bit long, burning down to only a few inches shy of the dynamite-filled box before it fizzled out too. Investigators surmised that the distant whistle the operator heard was signaling the operator's captors that the fuses were lit and they should leave. Following the initial on-scene gathering of evidence, TECO hired the famed Pinkerton Detective Agency to conduct an investigation. And on August 20th, a Pinkerton representative wrote from the company's Atlanta office, "Regarding the recent case, we'll have a man ready to send forward within a few days. Of course, you know that we'll have to make a careful selection and we'll have to detail a man who has plenty of grit, and we're now proceeding to make a good man available. Now, concerning devices so that we can exchange telegrams without exposing our business. Mr. Carpenter has furnished you with a cipher, and we're attaching some code words that can be used in connection with that cipher." 2 days later, a second box was recovered containing a similar number of dynamite sticks as the box found immediately after the incident. By August 25th, the Pinkerton Agency assigned an agent to come to Tampa. He was referred to only as Operative Number 5. In addition to bringing on the Pinkerton Agency, Tampa Electric and a local group of industrialists announced that a reward in the amount of $3,500 would be given to anyone who had information leading to an arrest and conviction of the people behind the attack. August gave way to September. Operative Number 5 became ill and had to retire from the assignment. There's no record of a second operative being assigned. Interest in identifying the culprits waned, and ultimately there was no arrest or conviction. Everyone just moved on. 4 years later, in 1920, TECO and the dam tender